Yes! Hopefully I'm not peeking and screaming way too loud into the goddamn mic, but yes, it is that time once again. Midnight Chats. The high score was actually really good. I gotta say, Alan, how you doing, sir?
I'm here also.
Wait, what'd you say?
I'm here also.
Yeah, he is here also, people. And no, there's not. You guys might smell that. We got no marijuana smell. Whatever. We got Allie up in the house. How you doing?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm fine.
She's fine. You got me. I might. Hi. How you doing? And then we got, once again, Alan, who absolutely matters quite a bit, actually. Here's the thing, man. Really quick, I know we got to get into topics and start talking about stuff and everything like that because, obviously, yes, Midnight Chat Tag. People, if you guys want to get into the call, well, you know what? Wait, I'll tell you how to do that in a couple of minutes. But definitely message me, though. If you want to get on right away, make sure to message me. But, Alan, are you, like, tired or something over all these, like, fucking gameplay videos that you've been doing lately? Because I've been watching some of that shit, and, yeah, that game,
Hey, it's like I was telling 90s when he's been asking me if it's for the last like week. It's not for everybody, but it's for the people who really enjoyed the Batman Arkham games, but had the same complaint I did of there's not nearly enough fucking enemies for you to fight. Like I love the first one, Shadow of Mordor, and it's an incredibly fun game. It's like take the Batman Arkham style of fighting, give you swords, have you have like hundreds of enemies on screen, awesome cool powers, and just let you go wild in an open world where you have. And with the sequel, they just increased everything that was good about the original, adding all sorts of new cool powers, new interesting different levels, and it's a lot of fucking fun.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing. I was actually trying to find a spot to put this on because there's a lot of like menu shit going on there. But here we go again. Yeah. Oh wait, now it's on the side. Why is that? I don't know, man. Let me see. Let's do this shit. Facebook's really weird. They should really work on that. There's nothing I can do. But people, if you want to watch the entire gameplay video on a little tiny fucking square in the top left of your screen because Facebook's fucking stupid, definitely go to the Midnight Chat Tag Facebook page. And I gotta say really quick, very, very weird, but apparently Ganja, because he's not here, apparently, oh, that GIF, holy shit.
That is a good GIF, too. I don't know where that came from, man.
Damn, Dejan. Yeah,
that is
good.
amazing. That
really is. But I'm looking over here in the chat, in the YouTube chat, and our boy Ganja, he's in Sprite for some reason. I have no idea why he's in Sprite. That's fucking weird. And you should be able to spell spirit at this point. You are a grown-ass man, but whatever. Ruthless is in the call, everything, or not in the call, but in the chat as well, the YouTube chat, everything. Yeah, we got Raheem once again, Bob Blob, you know, that's Cedric, Ruthless up in there. Allie's back, shows better. Coincidence? I think not. Fuck you for kissing her ass. God damn it.
What?
He's saying shows better because you're here. Yeah. No.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm a girl. Everyone's going to say nice shit about me. No, fuck that. What about me?
Oh.
Goddamn Ruthless. Fucking asshole.
No one cares.
Oh, wait. Can you hear me, by the way? Can your mom hear me, by the way? Am I on speaker?
No, I'm sorry. No, you were not.
No?
Because you guys are supposed to wear headphones.
Oh, I was going to say the wear phones. No, that's not what you call them. The headphones. People, the headphones. Make sure to wear the headphones when you get into the call. And speaking of getting into the call, Alan, why don't you tell the people how to get in the call in the first place?
Yes, so you can either message me, Nick, or Allie. So you'll see once you do message us, you'll see something in the bottom corner. That's when we'll send y'all a link. It'll be blinking red and yellow. Then you'll be able to hop right in the call and join us.
Oh, yes. And speaking of joining us and getting into the call, people, I'm going to tell you these fucking rules for once. Newcomers, join the call first. We want people to come in, and I know that we're probably going to be bringing on the same people as we typically do because you guys are constantly watching us and watching more than once, you know, throughout the weeks and everything like that. So obviously, might not happen today, but if you do see a newcomer come to the call, try to give him a spot in the whole thing, okay? Give him a link or something, or well, unless we tell you otherwise, which we'll get to that. Shut the fuck up. I'm fucking up already. This is why Ganja does it. No, but number 2, do not talk over each other because when we do the highlight videos and whatnot, it's just a bunch of random fucking noise. We can't hear you in the first place. So if you're talking over somebody, I can't hear either one of y'all. So there's no point. You might as well just shut your fucking face. And then number 3, please no nudity unless it's the after hours because, quite frankly, I love me some titty. If you're a dude and you want to show your ass like Chicago John did or whatever the fuck quite a bit ago during a live stream.
Show.
Yeah, oh god, that was weird. Then he acted like he didn't even know too. He's like, oh shit, Jesus, my ass.
What's he supposed to say?
Because he knew his ass was showing. Come on, man, god damn it. But people, and then just don't do that, people, because you want to get kicked off YouTube. Also, as well, don't give anyone else the link. Now, I know I said complete opposite of that in the first rule because, well, let's just be honest, I'm fucking stupid. But Alan, Don't you give somebody else the damn link. Oh, wait, you're a host, so you can do that. I'm
I
a
can do
host
whatever the
too.
fuck I want.
Exactly. You can do whatever you want. I can do whatever I want. Allie can do whatever she wants. We will give links out. You people do not do that. And you're probably thinking, what do you mean by you people? I mean, yes, you people in the goddamn chat, motherfuckers. Also, too, number 5, read the rules. And Allie girl, if you can, I don't know if you're allowed to say it right now.
Hold on, I'm looking around. I don't see my mom. Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. God damn it. I like how she's like, I'm looking around the corner. She's like,
checking for the cops.
Hey man, I'm just making sure because
I know.
everyone's afraid of their mom.
Yeah, she'll go over there and whoop your ass. You know, by the way, she knows like jiu-jitsu or something. Like, just letting you know.
Yeah, she knows either, was it karate or taekwondo? I think it's karate.
She knows kick your ass foo.
Yeah,
Yep,
exactly.
pretty much.
Yeah, and she uses chopsticks. But the thing is, though,
Bad way
I'm
to
just
go.
assuming. I'm just assuming. I don't know, man. But the thing is, tonight I'm gonna warn everybody, man. Tonight we're gonna have a long show of Flix'N'Chill. Our actual show is not gonna be long because we got things to do tonight. You guys might want to watch horror movies and do things like that, and I don't want to kind of like keep you guys up all night. So we're gonna end this show off pretty quickly. But while doing that, huge horror stuff. We haven't done anything horror based really, like for October, right, Alan? Or am I wrong on that sense?
No, but now they mentioned that the after hours viewing party that will be happening next week will be a horror themed one. During the midweek on Wednesday, we'll give you obviously more information as well as with the poll and just the general idea of what's going to happen next Saturday.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and go into my double toast account and everything right now, too, and see if people want to come in. Because if you want to get into the call, all you got to do is message Birdman Allen. That's him right there. Let's smile for the camera. And then you got me. Yeah, I'm a happy fella. God damn, I need if I'm going to be the host of this thing, I need to, like, make sure to have, like, a smiley or face thing. Like, Yodi, I'm going to get in touch with you, dude. Like, I'm just going to tell you. But, yeah, even though I'm looking angry right there, you can message me. That'd be great. I'll get you into the call. I'll give you a fucking link or whatever. You can come on. It'll be great. Allie, probably not so. Don't give her a link. And if you do, just don't be weird and start flirting and shit. Come on. That's strange.
I agree.
Agreed, yes. So, yeah, just make sure to do that. I'll let you all come into the call. It'll be really cool. We'll talk about movies, talk about Jared Leto, all that good stuff. Alan, how you doing today?
I'm alive.
Yeah, you sound dead. You look dead. But I'm looking at the chat, too. Fucking, yeah, Toki is thirsting pretty bad over Allie. But I'm looking over here, too, and Adrian's talking about let's watch Jason X. No, Sammy just did Jason X. Pretty good review, I will say. But, man, they don't get it, though, man. They don't get the fucking whole Jason thing. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, oh, it's stupid because he does this and that. It's like, that's the whole thing. That's what's good about Jason, man. He fucking froze a girl's face in that tube or, like, sink full of ice, whatever the fuck
Liquid nitrogen.
Wait, what was it called?
Liquid nitrogen.
Okay, well, is this one of those, like, science-y things that you're looking at me and you're like, oh, yeah, come on, dude.
A little bit. You literally just had a sink full of ice.
Oh, shit. Well, it's estrogen. Oh, that's another thing. I'm sorry. But, yeah, man, I think Jason X is a pretty badass movie. And this is a movie, too, that has a situation, Alan, where, like, Jason's turning into a half-robot, half-undead man thing. So it's not the dumbest shit that's been said about Jason X. I'm just saying.
Oh, I thought you said this is the dumbest thing that's ever had in a Jason movie. I'm like, how is them going to space and it being a fucking robot thing not the dumbest thing that's ever happened in a fucking Jason movie?
Oh, no, that's the dumbest thing. But what I said wasn't the dumbest thing that has to do with that movie. Because they do enough dumb shit to kind of, like, counteract my stupidity. You know what I mean? But speaking of stupidity, man, here's the thing. I have my own thoughts about this particular movie, this particular franchise, I guess. Because this is going to be a franchise. Granted, there's only one movie that's out about it. But people, yes, Suicide Squad, there it is. You guys saw it in the thumbnail today for the tonight's show, which is basically an itinerary in itself. But Jared Leto says the Suicide Squad 2 director is perfect.
Who did they? Just because I didn't. Who did they actually get for Suicide
Gavin
Squad 2? Was
O'Connor.
Okay, because what was I reading that was going to be fucking Mel Gibson?
Oh, he directed Warrior.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously? Okay.
Oh, and The Accountant, though.
Oh.
Wait, and what else, Allie?
And The Accountant.
Ugh.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Man, how do you follow up a great movie like Warrior with The Accountant?
Well,
Well,
man.
Warrior... No, never mind. Yep, never mind.
yeah, well, because he also do fucking what's that fucking movie that I think Kevin Smith had something to do with it, the Green Hornet, I think it was.
Let me look at this.
I'm pretty sure it was him. And I'm gonna go and get the trailer ready for it, by the way, too, because
So,
the Green
he is doing an upcoming Green Hornet movie. I guess they're rebooting it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, upcoming. Yeah, because that
He
other
didn't
one
do
was
the
a
last
while
one,
ago.
or the
Oh,
previous.
okay, yeah, because I thought he did this one, and for me, this is some silly shit.
Man, I liked it. It has as Christoph Waltz being a villain, and I love Christoph Waltz and anything. And I had fun with the movie itself. It wasn't trying to be anything more than just kind of a cheesy comic book movie, and I really just had a lot of fun with it. So.
Yeah. Now my main thing, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but Pride and Glory. Have you ever seen that?
Pride and Glory? No,
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, man. Pride and Glory was a great fucking movie, man. With I think.
Oh yeah. I just looked it
The
up.
cop
Yeah.
movie.
I didn't enjoy. I had a buddy of mine that swears by it, but I didn't really enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, I love. There's even a scene. You can get some water real quick. That's completely rude of me to do that on a live stream. Holy shit! Like, is this my first time? No, it's not. Fuck you. But the thing is, there was a scene in this movie that really kind of like set home for me. And all movies, like a lot of crime dramas and whatnot, always do this thing where like they have one scene that like sticks out forever. Like Training Day has that scene with the Mexicans inside the thing. They're playing cards, and he's like, "Oh, you want your shit pushed in, bro, big time." You remember that shit at all, or no?
I barely fucking remember. I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Oh, come on,
I do
man.
not
That
remember
that
that,
scene
man.
was one of my favorite. Man, that sucks. Well, there's a scene in Pride and Glory where basically Colin Farrell, who I don't know if he's really like the main bad guy. It's been a while since I watched the movie, so forgive me if I'm wrong on some of the
I don't
things I'm
think
saying.
he is. I think it's Edward. Is it Edward Norton?
I mean, the only
Who's
reason
actually
why
the
is because there's a part where Colin Farrell gets an iron and he holds it to a baby's face. Like, he's basically saying, he's like, if you don't tell me the information that I fucking need right now, I'm going to burn this fucking baby's face off. And he's holding the fucking thing. I'm actually going to try to find it really quick, because, like, this scene was one of the most crazy fucking things I've ever seen, dude. It was scary as
Yeah,
all
okay,
hell.
never mind. Yeah, it's hard to put a fucking iron to a baby's face and not be the villain of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering, like, is this one of the situations where there's a reason why he's doing it? Because, like, I don't know who the fuck that was. I think
Nah,
that's...
he's just bored.
Yeah, let me see. Hopefully they show it. But yeah, Colin Farrell's like, yeah, fuck you, pixels, look at her fucking, his thing's bad quality.
Oh man, they actually have. God, I thought they would have done some clever like editing so that he doesn't actually have an iron over fucking baby. Man, that's fucked up. Holy shit, I do not remember that at all.
Yeah, it's
Been a while since
traumatizing
I've
for
seen
the
it.
actor baby. Like, that's a horrible way
Not
to
even
get
know,
started in
it's
your...
traumatizing for the actor. Could you imagine Colin Farrell's like reading the fucking script going, I gotta put a what on a baby? What? No, what the fuck was that? What accent was that? Holy shit.
Yeah, I know, yeah, what the fuck was that? Like, oh, I gotta put the
I was
camera on
trying
the
to do
baby.
fucking failed.
Yeah, man, I'm looking at the chat too, like, Chris Brown says, Jared Leto bought it for you. I don't know what the fuck it was. Yeah.
Oh, somebody
Adrian-
bought. I think Adri said she had Suicide Squad on Blu-ray.
Ooh, why the fuck would you do... Okay, Adrian, girl, you've been talking shit about Suicide Squad so much, and you bought that fucking thing. Man, I'm judging you like a
was-
motherfucker.
Jason goes, it was stuck to the back of the Beauty and the Beast.
I know.
It's just a double-
The glue was the Oscar nomination that fucking Suicide... Or the Oscar award that Suicide
You
Squad.
know what? I'll take an L too, just because I know Gertz is gonna bring it up anyway. But I have the Suicide Squad Blu-ray too.
Hey, it has Oscar award-winning Viola Davis in the fucking movie too. So.
So, well,
Yeah.
so does Jared Leto.
Oh yeah, man, that movie has some Oscar fucking contenders in it, man.
Yeah, Will Smith's been nominated.
Yeah.
God, yeah, that's true.
Is it making you guys
Margot
realize
Robbie,
that sometimes
too, hasn't
actors
she?
don't matter? Is that what's
Oh,
doing for you guys
100%, but it's still funny.
right now? Yeah, they because that's the thing, man.
100%
Actors
it
don't
doesn't
fucking
matter.
matter.
Dude,
I-
Nicolas Cage has an Oscar.
Ooh, for what? Do you remember?
What was that fucking movie?
Oh, I
It was
forget.
before he stopped. It was before his BS movie. It's something. I can't remember the fucking movie, but I know like he's won an Oscar. I'm sure I can find it real quick if you want to continue your story.
Yeah, because well, I mean, I really got no story. I'm actually really curious about what this is because he apparently won Best Actor for Leaving Las Vegas.
Oh, so yeah, Leaving Las.
Yeah.
Yeah, he also got the adaptation was the nominee. So
Yeah. Oh, adaptation. I don't even remember what that was.
yeah, it's another. Yeah, that was back when Nicolas Cage actually cared, but then he started making movies like Face
Ghost Rider.
Off and Ghost Rider 1 and 2.
Yeah, well, this was 1996, so wasn't this around the time Face Off came out? Like, I think he won this literally like a year after or something. You know, and people in the chat, like Ruth is saying Nicolas Cage has an Oscar for a good reason. Leaving Las Vegas was good.
Oh yeah, actually, Face Off comes out like the next year apparently.
Yeah, because I remember that when I was a kid, and I really liked Face Off, like big time, man. Face Off was the shit.
Such a stupid movie, but it's taken so seriously in universe that it's great, man.
And
Like,
John
my
Travolta.
John
him-
Travolta's fucking great in that fucking movie. He
Thank
is just acting out of his ass on that one.
And you gotta think about the task at hand to act like you're acting like you're like act like another person, but then he's good, but then you gotta act bad, but then that's bad to the good. What the fuck,
Man,
Like,
okay. For anyone that remembers Face Off, my favorite scene in Face Off will always be the prison scene because it's so how it works is John Travolta and Nick Cage, they switch faces. So Nick Cage has to act like John Travolta acting like Nicolas Cage. And he just has this scene where he's just trying to get this face going, where he's like, "I gotta act crazy," and he's almost like trying to get into the character because he's right now he's a good guy trying to be like the bad guy, so he has to learn to kind of be crazy. It is fucking.
Yeah. And he's and more so trying to be crazy. He's also trying to act like Nicolas Cage. But it's Nicolas Cage as the actor, so he's trying to act like himself, but the character's trying to act like somebody else.
It's Inception's level of acting, because Nicolas Cage has to act like John Travolta, acting like Nicolas Cage. There's this one scene where his face just goes, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's fucking great.
Dude. And I don't know if you guys seen the Face Off review from the Nostalgia Critic, but I watched that, and like there's a great part in that fucking movie where he makes fun of, and Nicolas Cage is in church, and this is like before they swap faces. He's in church, he's behind some girl singing a song, he just grabs her ass. It's like a little like 16-year-old girl. He squeezes her ass and he goes, "Oh!" and the camera just zooms right in his face.
Oh man, and this movie has some great action scenes too, like the shootouts they have. That entire last act is great because it's like five different like action scenes just strung together. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, man, and I'm gonna show it right here, but like this shit is great. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. Yeah, this fucking thing. He just goes, "Oh!" like, and he's behind that chick. It's the weirdest thing, dude. But I fucking love Nicolas Cage. He has a great expressive face, man. Like, so yeah, So Gavin O'Connor, that was the whole thing that we were talking about here. And, that's what good Nicolas Cage is that he actually takes over other conversations. But
I mean, it's hard for him not to.
Of course, because honestly, there's nothing here as far as conversation-wise on the Joker. Like, here's the thing, man. Do you guys feel like Gavin O'Connor is actually going to make a pretty good difference in doing the Joker and doing the entire show or the movie? Because whatever they did with the first Suicide Squad, I feel like they had to stick to that. Like, the Joker is that Joker now. You can't swap anything else now. Like, that's who he's going to be. So, Alan, what do you think about that?
It's one of those things where it's like, I don't, because looking through the director's filmography, he's really only done like down to earth, very like somber pieces. Like even with The Accountant, like that was the closest thing to a superhero movie. So, like, a lot of those things, it's like they're really down to earth kind of stories. So it's like the Suicide Squad. It's like you could obviously with the superheroes you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can make it a crime thriller. You can make it a Memento style movie if you fucking wanted to, or you can do something down to earth. But it's like with so many different actors and so many different personalities that to some degree you have to build or set the movie around or actually get to work. Like I think you just need somebody who's kind of dealt with like television directors would probably be a better choice because they're used to giant ensemble casts, whereas movie directors are usually used to having only a handful of people that they really have to focus on. So that's why Suicide Squad is such a difficult idea to do, you know?
Yeah, I know exactly. And you know, like you said about his filmography, like yeah, I think when you get a situation where you gotta like do some hardcore healing of a fucking franchise or a gimmick or whatever the case may be with Suicide Squad 2, you need to have more shit under your belt. Like good shit. I mean, I feel like all the other stuff he did were not passion projects or not like anything that was really big or spectacular. But then again, you get something like Jenkins, the girl who did Wonder Woman. I forgot her first name. Patty Jenkins. Yeah. Patty Jenkins. Okay, like she has no history either, and that girl fucking whooped ass with Wonder Woman.
True, but Wonder Woman, all she had to do was deal with Wonder Woman, and the supporting cast was, except for Chris Pine's character, they really didn't need to focus on anybody but Wonder Woman and Chris Pine. Whereas Suicide Squad, you have Margot Robbie's character, Will Smith's character, you have all of these bigwigs, including Jared Leto himself, like. That's something like honestly, like you need somebody like that's used to this kind of stuff. Like, I mean, I would love to see this if Christopher Nolan fucking took the role of Suicide Squad directing, because he's used to dealing with a lot of actors and can do good action and can actually tell a story within the action, like something like not as crazy as Inception, obviously, but something kind of like the Inception, where it's like that's a huge array of actors that he had to work with.
Yeah, and I'm looking over here too.
He ain't coming back.
I know.
Wait, you don't think Christopher Nolan's coming back to the DC universe?
No, he definitely said, like, to everyone, yo, like, whoa.
He fucking sneezed out.
He was like,
he said,
no, go ahead.
No, but he said, like, yo, I'm done with superhero stuff. Like, he didn't want to do The Dark Knight Rises. He was really forced to make it because he wanted to do Inception, and that was the deal he had with Warner Brothers. So there's no way he's coming back.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Oh fuck! I'm looking at the YouTube chat right now too. Ruth is just telling me that apparently Julian flied out and took over my brain. because I'm quoting The Room. Sorry, I just had to do it at least once.
Wait, when did you quote The Room?
No, right now during the chat, I was saying I did not have my shit pushed in. I did not because Ray was messing with me. But the thing is, though, and by the way, like I will be going back and forth with the YouTube chat and the DT chat. So once again, people attack the chat, like show me which chat's better, and we'll keep it on there the whole time. But yeah, anyways, back to the fucking thing with the situation here. Allie, I'm gonna ask you really quick. Do you feel like Gavin O'Connor can actually make that much of a difference with the Joker character? Because as I'm looking here, and I'll have my thoughts about this too, but like in this article, apparently Gavin O'Connor went as such to say like, yo, I want more Joker in here because we didn't get enough Joker, even nearly as much Joker in the first one that everybody else was expecting. So what do you feel about that?
It's going to be a disaster. I love Jared Leto. I really do. I think he's very talented. He seems like a cool person, but I hate the direction they're going with the Joker. I have no idea if he will be able to change it, this new director. And really, his filmography is kind of 50-50, just like David Ayer. He definitely has like the capability of creating a great movie, but he also has the capability of creating something really subpar. So I don't think the Joker needs to be in a Suicide Squad movie because it's not his movie. And it's more about the other characters. If anything, they need to focus more on developing like Killer Croc, Katana, and I don't know if they're bringing back Enchantress, but like all of the other characters, the minor characters, not Will Smith's Deadshot because he had a lot of screen time, and Harley Quinn had the most. You need to be bringing in everyone else to make sure they get equal screen time because like they're part of the team too. They're just as important. And they were really shortchanged in the movie.
Because if you look right here, this is the original 2016 Comic-Con trailer. And you're saying it's not their movie, it's not his movie, it's their movie. Thing is, they right away told you. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like, I was like, trailer's kind of cool. And then when the Joker showed up, I was like, motherfucker, let's do this. Like, I was so hyped.
I was the opposite.
So then you saw it.
Well, then I saw it, of course. But I mean, you gotta tell me though, like you felt like, or I mean, I'm not gonna put words in your mouth, but Allie, like, did you feel like when you first saw that trailer, you thought it was going to be the Joker's movie?
I felt like, yeah, he would be in it. Maybe actually more so than when he was, but I didn't think it was going to be his movie because it's called Suicide Squad. It's not called Joker the movie. It's not about him.
Yeah.
And I know that like everyone loves Harley Quinn, so of course they got to pay attention to her the most. So I got that, but I never thought it was going to be the Joker's movie, and I didn't want to see him like save him for a Batman movie because it's much more interesting seeing Joker and Batman interact more so than it is him interacting with the Suicide Squad.
Yeah. I mean, true. And then one thing too, I'm looking over here in the DT chat. And he was talking about how Jared Leto or Chris Brown was. And it's funny how like I'm saying this, like if someone's listening to some kind of audio thing, they'd be like Chris Brown, where you got like the actual rapper watching the shit. But Chris Brown from the DT chat, he was saying something about how Jared Leto was great in Requiem for a Dream. I can't say that word right. Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
I wish he would have been more like this. Like, I think the Joker needs to look like a crackhead or some kind of like meth addict or something. You know what I mean?
That actually was not like the crack meth addict, but if you look up Christopher Nolan, like how he described the Joker, he wanted the Joker to kind of almost look like a homeless person.
Yeah.
Like that's the look he went for.
And I feel like Jared Leto can do it. I think if they went that route with Jared Leto, they can easily do that.
Oh, dear Lord, I have the same haircut as him.
Yeah, you do. Hey, guys. Christopher Nolan's great, man. No, but, like, that's the thing. Is like, I know they can do that. I think that's very, very possible to pull some shit like that. People are actually posting stuff about Heath Ledger in the chat right now. And, like, people want to see that version. Oh, too bad he died. That's fucked up.
I don't know, like...
Yeah, like we need to move. Either way, we were going to have to move on from Heath Ledger's performance, whether he survives or not. It's just like this is a new reboot. This is a new iteration of that character. It's been done before. Before Heath Ledger, we had other actors doing it, whether it was in just voice or if it was physically on the scene on the screen. But like, yeah, so. People are always going to complain and moan about, I just wanted Heath Ledger's Joker because people don't like change. But too bad, like, time is moving forward. It's not going back. You have to just accept the fact you're not going to get that Joker anymore. And who wants to see someone imitate Heath Ledger? No one wants to see that.
You know what I want to see? I want to see Jared Leto not play as a Joker in Suicide Squad, but I want him to be the new Harley Quinn. That'd be great. This is Jared Leto in Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Actually, like, I actually watched a video. I don't know why, but I was watching a video that just popped up on my YouTube for recommended. I never watched anything like this, but randomly what popped up was like Jared Leto's diet, like what he does and his body transformation. I was like, okay, why not? I was bored that day, but it actually did show his, like, how he really changed his body for different roles. And I never realized how much weight he actually lost to play that character in Dallas Buyers Club. He was on the verge of, like, anorexia.
Oh, yeah.
It was really bad. And, like, you know, Jennifer Gardner and people on set were saying, like, I hope he's not taking it too far. Him and Matthew McConaughey, they were really concerned because they were really into making sure their roles were authentic, but at the same time, it was really definitely, you know, it was dangerous for them.
Well, you say that, and then, I mean, and it's weird. I think people get desperate after doing comic book things because Christian Bale did the same thing with the movie that he did. And I forgot, what was the movie he did? The one about the AIDS?
Yeah.
What's it called again?
Is it called The Machinist, where he like dropped like fucking 800 pounds to be in that role?
Yeah. Let me see, Christian Bale. I'm going to look this up really quick.
I think it's called The Machinist, if I remember correctly.
Oh, this is like incredibly disturbing, dude. Like, there it is right here. That is fucking horrifying.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a movie, I think he was in between him doing the Batman stuff. It was with Mark Wahlberg called The Fighter. And he goes from being Batman, who's like, yeah, he's, you know, working out, muscle built, to looking like somebody who legitimately looks like a crack addict, because he was supposed to be playing a crack addict in the Fighter. And it's just like,
how do you come back from that though? Like that's the thing. Like, can you get back to?
You don't give a shit about your. It's like muscles need to be maintained. So you stop maintaining your muscle, it becomes fat, and then you stop eating, so you become skinny. So it's like it's difficult, but it's possible. It's just it's fucked up.
But like, how do you come back? Like, will he ever go back to being on the left? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, I'm sure you can only do that so many times before your body just says, "Fuck it, you're too fucked up." But like, it's possible. It's just you are doing a lot of damage to your body when you're like that.
Yeah.
They all say like they would never do that again because it really does harm your body, and you like they feel it. You know, it's like they know that if they try to do it again, it might kill them.
Man, this is a random tangent, but people were talking about Jared Leto's acting career in there, so I just started looking it up. This guy was in Fight Club?
Yeah.
He was apparently, I never knew that either until I watched that video. I was like, he was in Fight Club?
Yeah, with the blonde hair.
Fight Club, War, and a bunch of other movies. I'm just like, I do not remember you being in any of these fucking movies.
Yeah, man. No, he's been in a lot of stuff, and he's done a lot of good things. And the thing is, like, I never really cared. Like, every time he's in something, I just don't give a fuck. Like, he was, like, some kid on a Panic Room. He was in Panic Room. And I'm like, we don't get anything with your character. We don't give a fuck. Like, even the director. Say what?
Really? Panic Room?
Yeah, Panic Room. The one with the blonde girl, and her and her son are, like, stuck. I don't know what the fuck happened, but yeah.
I had Kristen Stewart. Yeah.
Yeah.
The acting caliber of Jared Leto and Kristen Stewart in the same movie.
No, Jodie Foster. Like,
Jodie Foster.
I don't remember Jared Leto. Yeah, I don't even remember Leto being in that movie. It was mainly Jodie Foster and Kristen Stewart.
Yeah, but it's just weird. Like, he's doing so much shit, and like, I gotta tell you, in Blade Runner 2049, people didn't like his character. I think his character was annoying as shit, but I love that Jared Leto's character like fit that. Like, his whole Jokerisms and that annoying shit really worked out for Blade Runner 2049, in my opinion. Like, Ali, I never even got your opinion on that because you weren't here for the review and everything. But what did you feel about Jared Leto in Blade Runner 2? I'm just gonna say 2 because fuck the rest of that shit.
I thought he was overacting. But he wasn't. He was a little distracting, but he wasn't in it like a ton to really, change my perspective of the movie. But he did feel out of place compared to the rest of how everyone was acting. It just seemed weird.
By the way, I didn't know, but apparently he was a lead singer and rhythm guitarist for fucking 30 Seconds to Mars?
You didn't know that?
Yes, that's actually where I know him mostly from, is that band 30 Seconds to Mars. I fucking love their music.
Yeah, I
not know
music
that?
too, but I didn't know that. That's kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
dude. I'll post like my favorite song in the chat. It's Northern Lights.
That's why he hasn't done more like movie stuff because he's been focusing on his music career.
And I've seen this picture of him in the band so many times, and I never fucking knew. Like, holy shit, that's actually amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, just learning some shit tonight.
Isn't
Like,
it kind of incredible how he takes a break for several years, comes back and wins an Oscar?
yeah.
That's just a slap in the face to all of like the hardworking actors working in Hollywood who've been doing it consistently. He takes like
clearly they need to do a better fucking job.
yeah, he takes like an 8-year break. He comes back, he's like, "Hey y'all guys, how's it going?"
No, that's pretty fucking amazing actually. Like I'm really surprised. But yeah, man. So God, I don't know, Jared Leto. Like we'll see what happens, man. Like I'm once again I'm looking at this article and everything, and there's so many things that they're discussing. And Screen Rant likes to do these things where they do like these entertaining articles too, where they don't just tell the news; they also give their opinion. They're kind of shitting on Jared Leto a little bit, and they're really focusing on the first movie. I feel like the first movie just had a lot of things they had to do, a lot of fucking tasks. And now that that's kind of out of the way, we can have fun with it. Just don't bring no new characters. Just let me enjoy what we got. You know, continue on the Harley Quinn fucking Joker thing, and stop making Joker
Please
like
don't.
Tony Montana too. I hate that shit. Like he has a grill and everything, and he has machine guns. He's all cool.
Yeah, no, yeah, I was just like, you literally just stole like a scene from fucking Scarface in that movie.
Yeah, I like how Raheem in the chat over here is saying, yeah, rule 1 of Fight Club: don't talk about Fight Club, man. And yeah, like Ruth is saying, yeah, the Machinist movie, where the fuck? It was really bad. Yeah, man, like I said, dude, I love what some of these actors do. I don't really give a shit about the acting stuff, but when they do things like that and transform their entire bodies, that shit's incredible to me. So yeah, but moving on though, speaking of that kind of stuff, because we're talking about like we kind of wish that the Suicide Squad 2 Joker would be more serious. Then we're getting something that's kind of strange in my opinion too with Gambit. Now, do you know who Gambit is from X-Men?
Yeah,
I don't.
anyone that watched the original X-Men television show knows Gambit's character, and anyone that reads the comic also knows. He's very kind of a underrated character that is kind of has a cult class, but not really. No one ever really talks about him. His basic power is he can insert kinetic energy into any object, so he can turn he can get a pencil, put a bunch of kinetic energy into it, and as a result, it just fucking explodes. So, and his main thing is because he kind of was a gambler. He grew up kind of gambling and swindling, getting money. And his kind of thing was, I'll just use playing cards because like they're cheap, and then I can make like these things that'll go really far, and then I'll have them explode. Like that's his entire gimmick. And he has a staff.
That is pretty stupid.
Yeah, as far like I've always kind of liked his abilities because to me it's one of the few mutant abilities that isn't just completely fucking stupid. Like Nightcrawler's ability, like hey, somehow genetics allows you to bend time and space, or like a bunch of people who can send like what's it called? Kitty Pryde's powers don't really make sense, but kinetic energy is the energy of movement, and the idea that you can harness kinetic energy, put into an object, and it explodes actually does make scientific sense.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, it's a silly situation here because when I look at something like this, I'm just kind of like, yeah, like this story. Oh, by the way, let me scroll up so you guys see the title of this fucking thing because it says X-Men's Gambit movie described as a crime heist film. Now, I understand sometimes they try to push things in a serious direction, right? Because you had to do that with certain things. But like now you're really getting ridiculous. How am I gonna fucking take this seriously? How am I gonna say, oh man, this is a really good crime heist film with this motherfucker throwing playing cards? Like, stop with trying to make like a serious comic book movie. It's a comic book movie. This shit's silly. Like,
well, that's the thing. Like when you get a situation in which you're doing a crime heist, like that's what I was saying earlier. What I like about comics is you can always take these and try to build a world in which this is a normal thing. That's actually one of my favorite things in the world is taking superpowers and putting them in modern society and have it fit within modern society. So when you say it's like, oh, some guy throwing playing cards, like he's not a joker at a circus. He's using like, and that's just a trademark, playing cards and the staff. But his ability of being able to, like, he could easily be like a bomb expert, where it's like, oh, I know exactly where to put a little bit of kinetic energy into this vault to just blow the hinges off. So it's like, oh, I'm an integral member of a team where it's like, you don't need to bring explosives, you just need to bring me. So it's like you can make it work. You can make any sort of power work in any sort of context as long as you write it properly. As long as you can make it fit within the world that this is a normal thing and not a fantastical thing.
okay, and Allie, like, I mean, I know you're not the biggest fan of certain things, but like when it comes to X-Men and Gambit, like, do you have any thoughts on Gambit in general?
No, I honestly forgot this movie was being made.
Yeah, I'm.
Like, I hadn't heard
It's a
anything
new
for
thing to
like
me too.
I haven't heard anything for like over a year. They're saying how like people like directors kept like signing on and then signing off, and Channing Tatum was like, oh my god, I don't know, like I don't know the production, whatever. Like I just heard nothing, so I thought they had canceled it.
Yeah,
So
man.
I'm surprised they're
I
still
thought they
making
did
this.
cancel it. Like, did I hear something
Yeah,
that they legitimately
exactly.
canceled the movie at some point?
I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that they did, but I guess they're still doing it.
Yeah, man. And by the way, just really quick, slight tangent. Yes, Boxman. Fuck Cuphead so very much. Thank you very much. And speaking
That was
of,
red.
I know. He probably just got done fucking getting his ass kicked by the game. And Ruthless is in the chat. Hey, how you doing, sir?
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
I'm doing great. Other than the fact that I really can't stand how they're making movies out of fucking anything. Basically, what do you feel about Gambit and the whole like it's gonna be serious and it's a crime drama?
Well, okay. I'm gonna have to take you a little bit to task on this, Nick, because the Captain America movies, the second movie and the third movie are serious political drama in the third in Civil War and a spy movie in Winter Soldier. Like those are very clearly not movies. So this could work. Now, do I think Channing Tatum and Gambit should be this movie? No, I don't think that this is necessarily going to work out great. But as far as putting a superhero in what's normally a common, movie genre, I think it's a smart idea. I think Batman would serve a lot by being put into like proper detective film noir because it would give you a different look at Batman. I think, a lot of the superheroes that we're slowly getting more tired of based on how much money these movies are making, like need to be put in different stuff. So is it a risk? Yeah, I like the risk though. I think it's an interesting risk of for Gambit to be in a heist film. I want to know what that looks like, other than just him flinging cards literally everywhere and decimating anyone in front of him. Okay, I'd like to know what they're going to do with this to make this interesting.
No, I mean I'm curious too, and like what you said too with Captain America and whatnot. Civil War, I actually hated that they did that. Like the movie's great, the action's so fucking awesome, and I love seeing all these characters. I was able to kind of like let that pass and let that go through. But when you get to the point where they're actually having discussions, like you see this huge, fantastical, badass battle with all these superpowers, and then they're all sitting down talking shit like, these buildings, we gotta stop doing that. I was like, what the fuck is this? This is like as funny as when Punisher was on the courtroom. Like I know they have to do that eventually because like they're trying to be realistic. But if you're gonna be realistic, let's stop at the fantastical fucking Iron Man made a Hulk
when
killer.
Superheroes have consequences for their actions?
I think the consequences should be as fantastical as their non-consequences. Like I feel like when a superhero does something, its punishment should be equal to its magic and shit. I feel like why would anybody sit down and have a conversation when they have all these powers that they don't really have to listen? Like Tony Stark being not in a suit talking shit to Captain America. Why would Captain America take his shit?
Because Captain America
is a good person.
Yeah, and his first instinct isn't to violence. Like when they sit down and have those discussions, it's because it's a more realistic interpretation. That's like saying, why doesn't every single big motherfucker that has muscles beat the crap out of everyone that doesn't give him waste? Because that's not something that happens in normal life. The best part of what the Civil War and even Winter Soldier do is they do what I was always saying is you make these abilities, these fantastical abilities, work in a modern setting. Captain America isn't immortal. Captain America isn't invincible. Like you see in the course of Winter Soldier and in Civil War, he's getting stabbed, he's getting shot at, like he's getting damaged, like he's like having a situation where like fuck, I might die if I I'm not careful. So it's like they always try to put some sort of limits on these characters, and one of the limits is straight up with dialogue in the world where it's like, oh, yeah, I have all these crazy abilities, I could start a war if I'm not fucking careful. Like the consequences are fantastical, because if that conversation didn't happen with them having like who's gonna govern us, the governance of the world could have been like, fuck you guys, and the whole world would have tried to kill them. If that's not fantastical, then I don't know what is. The whole world saying, fuck you, you're the bad guys now.
Fantastical in the sense like what I mean, maybe I'm not using the right particular terminology, but like when I'm saying fantastical, I'm not saying extravagant, because you're right, like something like that's an extravagant, like very even type of like punishment for fucking up and not doing the right thing and creating a problem. But I'm saying fantastical in the sense of something that me not liking these movies, I'm like, okay, that is some ridiculous shit. Like some of those things, like for instance, Batman.
All right, Nick, I'll put it in your wheelhouse. You like Die Hard, the original movie, the first one?
I do to an extent. There's a lot of shit I don't like about it.
That's fine. You can have problems with the movie that you like. I certainly do. But the thing about Die Hard that makes it, and really even the second movie, ones that people still enjoy now, is that there's still consequences. Like John McClane is not a superhero in the first two Die Hard movies. The third one, you can kind of argue he might be a little bit, but after that, he definitely goes full superhero. Yeah. There's consequences. That first Die Hard movie, there's consequences. When he loses his shoes and has to walk across the glass, like you see his feet
that was
bleeding.
brutal.
Like, it's brutal to watch because you're like, oh man, he might not want to do that because that's gonna fuck him up more. And the villains aren't stupid for the most part, but they do have stupid moments. We're not gonna bog down that. The same thing they're doing here. They're saying, listen, we've got people with literal fantastic powers. We don't know what Scarlet Witch can actually do. She seems to have no limits on her. The Vision can literally do whatever his mind thinks of at this point, and Tony Stark can build everything. So we got to give him some real human consequences because otherwise, all we have are the villains, and our villains suck because Marvel's villains suck.
And it fits, and again, but it also fits within the context of each character. So when Tony Stark's like, "Oh man, we got to have limits," Tony Stark last week built Ultron, like, and then when Captain America is like, "What are you talking about limits? I was working for Shield. That was mostly Hydra." Like, it fits within both of their characters. They're not just on opposite sides because the movie needs the division. Based on the movies that they were in prior, it makes sense that they're not on the same page. You have a soldier who his entire upper echelon was the bad guys, and then you have an inventor who essentially had no limits on anything he ever did, created something that almost destroyed the entire planet. So it's like,
in one case the guy made his villain, the other case everyone who he trusted as authority was the villain. What turned out to actually be villains. That it gives them consequences that make sense. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's always good to have consequences, man. That's why I want to see this. I want to see this Gambit movie try because I'm curious as to what are they going to give him as consequences for the shit that he does. If it's a heist movie, there's got to be consequences.
Yeah, it might, honestly, we're blowing this up, thinking the fucking Gambit movie is gonna be the fucking Dark Knight. It's no, it's gonna be some bullshit, but it could be at least fun. Honestly, if you want the fucking plot of this fucking movie, it's gonna be Gambit. He's just sitting around, just fucking throwing some cards at a fucking wall. Some guy's gonna call and go, "I got a job for you." It's like, how much did you pay? A lot. Okay, I need you to blow up this bank. Blows up the bank. They lock him in there. He gets arrested, breaks out, and then has to beat the shit out of everyone until he gets up top and kills some bad guy. That's the Gambit movie they're describing.
Well, it's Gambit. They could put it in New Orleans, and you could just basically get Gambit in Mafia 3.
Oh man, Mafia 3 sucks.
The soundtrack is going to be amazing. I'm telling you.
Maybe, but that's what's most likely going to happen. But again, the idea they can make that work. Like I described, essentially the basic premise of every crime heist movie ever. Mm-hmm. But they can still make it work. But it's just, again, it really depends on what they're doing. Like Ali said, who even knew this movie was the fact that this movie is even being worked on is a problem. Who actually remembers this movie is even a thing?
No, and that's the thing. That's what bothers me so much too. Is it's right back to that typical Marvel thing of hey, you know what? Since you guys, if we put the Marvel logo on it, you'll go see it because it's Marvel and there's money behind it, and I can't wait to see what actors that they were able to con into doing this shit or spend a whole bunch of shitload of money, and so much money in fact that people are not this movie's gonna harm my fucking career. Because honestly, if they're getting Channing Tatum to do this shit, he's doing a lot of stupid shit. Kingsman 2, fucking what was the stupid movie he did right before that? It was a dumb fucking film. With Hail Caesar, that's what it was. Hail Caesar.
Oh, he was in Hail Caesar?
Yeah, wasn't he? Or am I wrong? I could have sworn he was.
I have no idea.
No,
he's in Hail Caesar. He's in it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so he was in that. That was such a stupid choice to do. I understand it was one of those movies that was supposed to be really ambitious and show the film industry from way back in the day and everything. But then when you watch the movie, it is so boring and no one even talks about it anymore. That movie is just dead. It was dead on arrival. You know what I mean?
I mean, Channing Tatum's honestly his entire career has been BS. White House Down. That's the one that I name off the top of my head. Oh god, I feel like there's other ones that he was in and I just never fucking watched. But he's never really been in anything that I've enjoyed. He was in the first G.I. Joe and that was a pile of garbage. His entire career has just kind of been just random shitty.
He's in both G.I. Joes.
Is he in? No, the second one doesn't count. He's in there for 5 minutes and they blow him up.
Yeah, I mean, it counts to an extent because it's obviously he had him in there because of his name recognition, things like that.
Yeah, but they kill him in the opening scene.
But the thing is as I'm thinking about this type of stuff, though, I mean, he was cool in the Hateful Eight. That was all right.
He was great in Hateful Eight.
Yeah, and I know he's doing a ton of stuff. I like his comedy stuff. I love when he's doing shit with Jonah Hill. I loved him in This Is the End. Fucking, that shit was hilarious.
21 Jump Street.
Right, I forgot 21 Jump Street. He was great.
Magic Mike, he was really good in, actually.
Okay, see, here's the thing, and I don't watch that. Motherfuckers, shut up. Not
sure.
But
sure.
I know why you lying right
the fact
now.
that you had to jump.
Don't lie to these people, Nick. Don't lie to these people.
Don't you jump straight on me. No. Anyways. But anyway, no, I'm sorry. But as far as Channing Tatum goes and Magic Mike, at least that played to him, right? Like, he was made for that fucking role. Everything else.
Well, yeah, because it's based on him. Like that's what he went through before he made it big as an actor.
Exactly, and I feel like that's something that you should do. Like that's the cool shit. But like when you're just put into other things just because you're Channing Tatum, so we'll just pay you to just do shit. It's bad. It's so bad. I fucking hate it. And
Chris Brown said a good one too. He's really good in Foxcatcher.
Yeah.
I forgot
yes.
he was also in he was also in Haywire.
Yeah.
Ooh,
All
I
right. Now this is a small movie. It's him and Terrence Howard basically the whole time, but the movie Fighting really played into his strengths as well. Like he doesn't have a ton of lines, but they kind of work for his kind of young look kind of thing, and it's basically almost all action. It's good stuff.
And even in stuff like fucking Foxcatcher, I mean, people like Steve Carell like stole it from him damn near. I mean, Steve Carell was incredible in that shit. So, you know what I mean? One of those situations. I'm so surprised that Steve Carell was able to do what he did with that character. I thought it was going to be something goofy as fuck, and that motherfucker just like, what the hell? It was
I like
really good.
Steve Carell when he's doing more serious stuff than when he's trying to be a comedian.
Yeah, I never seen him do anything serious. Like, I was like, what else have you
I
seen?
loved him in The Big Short.
Oh yeah, he was great in that.
Like that's probably my favorite role with him.
Mhm.
But I like when you watch him on fucking The Office. I did not like him in The Office. Like when he left The Office, that was when I really enjoyed the show.
By the way, I'm looking at the chair now. Josh is saying Allie must be ratchet tonight, which is why she is not showing phrase. Does he mean like ratchet as in like you look like shit, or that you're being like, woo, girl, get drunk? Yeah.
No, they look like crap.
Oh, okay.
No,
well.
don't fucking give Josh anything. He's just talking shit just so people can pay attention to him.
Well, someone has to pay attention to him. You know, his parents don't. You know.
Damn.
Anyways, I'm nice, right? No. But fucking yeah. Like I said, Gambit. I don't know what to think about this shit. I really don't want them to fuck up X-Men like they have done everything else. I really fucking love.
They do it every 3 movies. Like it's a tradition at this point.
I don't know. That's really the case. I actually
What?
like a lot of
X-Men 1, X-Men 2, X-Men Final Stand.
They're all great.
What happened? Then you had X-Men Origins Wolverine, and then they went
Great.
X-Men First Class,
Great.
Days of Future Past, and then X-Men Apocalypse.
The only one that's bad is
Let's
Apocalypse.
not forget Wolverine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They had they did a different order where X-Men Origins Wolverine was a pile of crap. Then they had the Wolverine. Then they had Logan. But it's just like every 3 movies, one of them sucks a lot. It's like, hey, this is just the next one up. Like, is this gonna be good or is it gonna follow the fucking same X-Men fucking thing?
I mean, I don't know. It's scary to think that, like, you know, people think that about these movies because I actually like them. So it's like, do I have bad taste or am I seeing something no one else has fucking seen?
Honestly, I appreciate you have good taste because you're with everyone else. But honestly, except for the first X-Men First Class, I really don't like any of the X-Men movies. I feel like it's just the same story over and over again with the X-Men. And it's always something I've hated about the characters of the X-Men is they're supposed to be an allegory for racism. And they've been telling the same story about how everyone hates them, about how they're so different, so everyone's just like burning them and throwing rocks at them and shit. It's like, we fucking get it. It's been 30 years of the same fucking story.
You know what other thing that tells the exact same story about racism? Life.
America.
Yeah, there we go, Nick. We said the same shit.
But my
Alan,
point is,
all lives matter. All lives matter. Alan Birdman.
I'm just saying, man, you're in a fucking world where you got Spider-Man and the Hulk being on the Avengers. Everyone's like, yeah. Then Wolverine shows up, everyone goes, boo. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost like when people that are of a different race do something that isn't necessarily put with their stereotypes. The people that it's normally put with their stereotypes get mad about it. It's interesting how that works out.
Okay, man, I'm just saying, like, every X-Men, the X-Men stories, they always do the same shit in the movies and the comics and the television show. Like, at least the X-Men animated television show went through and did some different stories, but how many times are we going to hear that the government is secretly testing mutants or, trying to pass a bill to hate mutants? Like, we see this all the fucking time, so I'm sure there's going to be in some backdrop. Hell, they had it in Deadpool.
Still exists.
Thank you, Allie. I don't know why we're
He doesn't understand. He's Canadian. Everything's all hunky dory over in Canada over there.
Oh, no, see, now that's racist. Now you're being locationist.
It's not even racist.
I don't know.
Yeah, wow. I can't wait for the next 10 X-Men movies that have the same fucking plot and everyone would be okay with it.
Okay,
Well,
here's
Alan,
the-
all right. Now I'm giving you shit, but for real, the X-Men get rebooted basically every 3 movies. So of course, like they're always going to go back to that initial point and never really get anywhere.
Really
Because
quick.
where do you go with the X-Men?
But really quick, I got one question just asked to end this entire thing. Comic books, bro. Like, how much fucking phases do you got to go through with Batman and Superman?
Yeah, but with Batman, it's like, yeah, you could say that Batman, a lot of the core character stays the same. But when we take something
No, it's not
Tim Burton
core,
Batman,
it's everything. Literally,
No.
Batman, his parents are killed every movie.
yeah, but that's the okay. Take Tim Burton's Batman. The one of the first time Batman was in an actual like anime, not counting not counting the previous in the 1960s. Like the one people I remember.
Mhm.
What that story of him fighting the Joker and all that stuff is not the same thing as Batman Begins. Where Batman Begins, yes, they talk about his origin and they funnel that in more with the character, and they also do a different origin story where, yeah, he's training. Like they focus way more on him becoming Batman in the movie called Batman Begins.
Literally
and then you see
every
something
Batman
like,
movie
Batman
talks
v
about
Superman,
his
where
origin.
it's a much.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Literally every Batman movie talks about his origin.
Yeah. Even the Batman movies that were supposedly connected to the Michael Keaton one still brought up his backstory.
Yeah, Batman Forever talks about his
Yeah.
backstory. Batman and
Yeah,
Robin
yeah,
talks about his backstory.
Okay, there's a difference between talking about your backstory and having that be, as an integral part of your character versus the plot of the whole fucking movie. If every Batman story was the plot of his movie where his parents were dead, you'd have a fucking point. But that's
Alan,
just
all of those movies show the parents' death. Like
but
every
that's not the
single
point of the
Batman movie
movie,
has, like,
though.
Even
hey,
the games do.
let's
Come
go
on,
down
dude.
this alleyway. Let's have his parents shot again.
Yes, but there's a difference between a plot
Every
point in the
movie
movie.
is built
versus the
upon
whole
Games,
plot.
Alan. Even
There's a
the
big
Arkham
difference.
games.
There's a
All
big
of them.
difference between that and the
The
X-Men story.
Telltale series talks about his origin. There is no Batman. I love Batman. I am probably the biggest Batman fan in this call right now, and I still complain about how much they constantly talk about his parents' death. Like, dude, can we move on, please?
No, because the thing is,
Sure,
like,
just say whatever
I'm
random
tired
points you
of
want and then just move on. Fuck
I'm
it.
tired of murdering his parents. I'm tired of blowing up Krypton. I'm tired of hearing Uncle Ben tell me, with great power comes great responsibility. I'm just tired of origin stories of superheroes. Like, yo, we know, unless it's a completely like weird one like Swamp Thing, I don't really care anymore.
no. On top of that, too, though, on top of what Ruth is saying, because Alan makes a point in the sense that yes, like Batman Begins, that's the whole origin story, and then everything else, like you just see a little spot, right? I totally get where Alan's coming from. So Alan, don't think you're alone in this. I totally agree with you. But then you get to a situation where then it's always him struggling to be good all the fucking time. Like for one, like pick your fucking side. I'm so sick of Batman having to be like, oh, I had to be good, but it's so fucking hard. I just wish I could kill somebody. And then like he's chasing Joker, and he won't kill him, but he wants him dead. But he wants him to stop, but he can't stop without killing him. Oh, what's gonna happen? Let me guess. He's gonna, I don't know, save the day by not killing him again for the 50th fucking time. Motherfucker, shit.
Yeah, but it's always how he does it, how he deals with it, is the most interesting part of the Batman mythos. Is the fact that he is like nobody except for Batman and the people that know Batman's true identity believe he's anything more than a god. Like Batman, he knows himself. He has stockholder meetings in the fucking morning he has to go to, but he still puts on that cowl every fucking night and goes and does his fucking job. And he has to do all this. Illusion, this mysticism, to actually keep up the illusion. Because when people they bring this up in the animated series all the time, where people go, "You're fucking real," or wait, you don't have any actual powers? Like in Justice League War, Green Lantern is almost talking shit to Batman at first, going, "You have no fucking powers? You're just a fucking human? Bitch, you ain't shit."
Yeah.
But then it's like Batman proves himself as that savior, and that's what is great about the Batman is him proving himself to
I want to be on the
top
record.
tier.
Being rich is a power. Being rich is a power.
Which is
I'm
not
on the
a
record.
power.
Look,
Yeah.
for comic books, being rich is a power. Like him and Oliver Queen have no special abilities beyond being.
No, but they
Super rich
they
and getting
don't
to
need
train
the
and
armor to
everything.
fight, man. The armor helps, but one of my favorite things in the new
They can
52,
make
the
things
Court of Owls,
disappear.
he fights a bunch of ninjas off in his pajamas. Like he doesn't need the suit.
I mean, he needs to protect him from like gunfire and other shit. But yeah,
Sure, but he mostly just uses that to kind of scare people and hide his identity.
and
But
also
he
to be a superhero and not basically the Punisher. So
But that's the thing. Like I don't know. Like I don't know whether or not to talk good about Batman and defend Alan, but I disagree with Alan. But then I disagree with Ruthless a little bit. But then Ruthless knows his shit. But then Alan, I go like I don't
you
know.
can agree with us both because we're both right. Like me and Alan are just discussing degrees at this point. Like it's a discussion.
Exactly,
It's not a fight.
yeah. That's true, and that's the thing. Like I really love certain things about Batman. Like I'll go on record. He's one of my favorite superheroes. But these fucking movies suffer from comic book dumb. Like it's always the same shit continuously every fucking movie. The next 4 comic movies that's coming, like Thor Ragnarok, for instance. When we go see a movie in New York, Alan, you will be there. I hope. Like,
Oh yeah, of course we're gonna fucking watch there. When you try to back out of that, we have rope.
No, I won't back out.
Alan, don't burn people in America with rope. That's not an okay one.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I did not think about that. Oh, that's so fucked up. Wow. God, Ruthless, you gotta apologize when he comes back from his clan from his clan meeting. Oh,
You're
just
helping
one big
fucking
guy.
Josh and the rest of the fucking bitches in the chat talking shit to me. God damn it.
well, wait, but I'm noticing everybody you talk about in the chat, they're all black. What the fuck? No, I'm just playing.
They all look like Viola Davis.
Oh, damn. No,
I'm gonna stop.
but Alan, no, you really do make a lot of sense. So, and I do agree with both of you guys. I just hope that, like, even with Thor Ragnarok, I'm like, dude, I bet when we go see that movie, I'm just going to be like, yeah, like, I can tell you all what exactly is going to happen from each fucking scene and be completely right, and yet this movie costs how much fucking money, and people can just buy a bunch of tickets? Fucking stupid. Like, can we please tell these comic book movie makers to start doing some better shit here? Fucking A. I will say Spider-Man Homecoming was different. I did not expect what happened in that show, or that movie. It was really good, and I'll leave it at that.
The animated show, yes.
Yeah, that too. But people, it's time to talk about something that I cannot help you talk about at all. I don't know who watched it in this room. I know Allie didn't want to see a couple of things. But here we go. Stranger Things Season 2 trailer came out. Ooh, look at that. It's nothing.
Not watching.
Not watching. Oh, that's the thing. So, I don't know what we can do. I like how Raheem was saying, eat shit, Nick. I'm sorry, but... anyways, that's shit, by the way. I'm eating it. Alan, what'd you feel about Season 2 trailer of...
That's the thing. Like, it's pretty decently cut trailer, but like, yeah, it's a trailer showing like, hey, this exists. Here's a bunch of, bull shots. Here's a bunch of cuts of the actual, what's going to happen over the course of 8 episodes. And unlike a movie, they don't feel the need to spoil every little thing that's going to happen, mostly because it's probably going to be what? Have they changed it? Is it still going to be like the 10 episodes it was last time, or the 8 episodes it was? Or are they extending it like they usually do in second seasons?
I am not sure, honestly.
If they keep it the same, hopefully, because again, whatever the episode they had, I remember it being just perfect. But as far as it looks interesting. It looks like they're going to be focusing a lot more on like developing all the kids, and I want them to focus on developing the actual the other world, the Upside Down they call it. So I'm kind of curious, like, are they going to actually? Because I don't think they visit it in the first one except for one character maybe, besides 11. I don't know. And it seems like they're just showing a lot of interesting stuff. So I'm curious what the actual season is going to be like, and I'm curious. I did enjoy the first one for the most part.
Yeah, because that's the thing. So, I mean, the big thing that was being talked about in the articles and things like that, like I actually got this right from Variety.com, and the big thing that was the title was the fact that Eleven's back. It's like, ooh, check out this new trailer, Eleven's triumphant return. What? Why? Like, who's 11?
Okay.
And why does that
Have
matter?
you seen season
You
1?
haven't seen the show. You wouldn't know what they're talking about, Nick.
Well, no, of course, but that's the thing. Like, I'm just wondering, like, why is he important? Just out of curiosity. Like,
Okay, so
I don't
full
mind being
spoilers
spoiled.
for season 1 in case any of y'all not seen. But one of the characters in there is, and it's a girl, and what happens is she kind of just shows up out of nowhere, like running away, like science experiment. That's all you really know. You start learning on later on that she actually has strange telepathic abilities. She can kind of read thoughts. She can affect kind of the world around her with her mind and stuff. And she kind of escaped from the facility where they were testing her. And it's like, yeah, her father was this crazy kind of like the head of the science division that was just putting her tests. And she could like, once she's immersed in water and once she's actually like in this chamber, she can kill people from like across the world and shit like that. And as a result of her using her power, unleashes this monster in the city. And that's kind of essentially what's going on over the course of the season. And what happens is eventually she sacrifices herself to defeat the monster. Like that's how it happens. And now they're doing the triumphant return because they kind of they basically kind of mirrored it, or they talked about it near the end of it. And now it's like, oh, she's coming back. Like, she is straight up back. And I don't like that. I wish, like, obviously we knew to some degree she's coming back, but I always hate when they advertise a character coming back from the dead. That nothing bothers me more. You should at least try to make that a surprise. Don't advertise that bullshit.
I don't think it was that necessary, but seeing as how this is a show that's not going to have you on the edge of your seat each week, like, oh god, what's going to happen? It's just like, don't do that. Just, we're good. Like, we're all going to watch it,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'm looking over here. You're talking about, like, I don't know if it's going to be the same thing as last year, the 8 episodes, or if it's going to be 10. Actually, less than both. It's going to be 6, apparently. It says down
Really?
here. Yeah, October 27th, all the 6 episodes shows the names of them, like Mad Max, Trick or Treat, Freak, all that stuff.
They just called one Mad Max.
Oh, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a bunch of references to Mad Max, most likely.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
only going to be 6, or that they've only released 6 episode titles.
Wait, what did you say?
Is it only going to be 6, or is it just that they've only released 6 show titles? I mean, episode titles.
No, it says like the names.
'Cause that says the names of the first 6.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, obviously, I think the season, because it's like the first 6 of season 2. So I think what season 2 is going to be is 12. I mean, that makes sense to me because I don't know if there's a lot of season 2s that end up going to 6 episodes. There's always more than that. Like, they just give you 6 to 8 just to start off, to almost like a pilot season. You know what I mean? Like, to an extent.
Well, they already established it. Like I'm always for like do as many episodes as you feel that you have content for, because once you have a situation where you stretch it for like 10 or 13 episodes, it's just like it gets to a point where it's like the padding becomes an issue. But like again, like with the Defenders, I know there's mixed feelings about it, but it being only, you know, the episode count it was, I can't remember if it was 8 or 10, was perfect because it told what it needed to tell and it got the fuck out of there. But then you have situations in which, like Luke Cage, where it's like, hey, let's just do 13 episodes because we feel like we have to, and it extends way too far. So Stranger Things being fucking 6, 8 episodes, just as long as that's the actual amount you need and not too much or too little.
Yeah. And that's the thing, man. Like, I hope everything kind of turns out good with this show because I am gonna watch season 1 soon, and I just hope that like once we start watching season 2, I'll be like, oh, this is fucking awesome. Is that another show that is overhyped and just not as good as what everybody else says? Because I am very, very scared of that.
I gave it a low full price. Like the second half was better than the first half, I felt.
And speaking of you doing that, I think it's time to get into oh my goodness, it's one of the longest Flex and Chills we're ever going to do, probably. But then again, I don't want to make this go on too long, people, so we will be getting out of this shit possibly within, I would say, 30 to 40 minutes, something like that. And I feel like I should make rules for this, but people, we're probably going to be talking about a lot of spoilers because we're talking about one movie in general, a very, very important movie. We're talking about It. Not like it, like, oh, the movie, like, whatever the fuck, like, it's a movie. No, I'm talking about, like, literally IT, Pennywise the Clown, the Dancing Clown, It. That shit was so good. Alan, nice shirt, by the way. I love that you turned red again. Oh, I don't know what. Oh, he's trying to get water or something. I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
No. Gotcha.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but, dude, I had so much fun watching that fucking movie. Like, gotta tell you, man, I'm gonna pull this up, but Allie, you've actually already reviewed this before, right?
Yep.
Now, did your opinion change when you watched it for the second time? I mean, granted, we did watch this with a bunch of shit on screen.
Oh yeah, that was great.
That was
No. Oh yeah, that was funny. That those captions were like had a mind of its own.
It really was.
It was so funny.
This is actually Allie running away from the captions, like, no, God, did to me subtitles. But yeah, like, with
No,
that
but,
said, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No. My whole thought about the movie hasn't changed. I still love it. If anything, it's made me love it more.
Really?
And sometimes when I watch a movie over again, or I watch it with someone, I start like noticing things like, oh, this is actually dragging a little bit too much, or oh, this could have been better if they did this. But no, it is great. Like, I still really love it. I still have the same concerns. I feel like the bullies were like way outlandish, but I mean, it's Stephen King, so
Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of how he writes people. I would have liked them to be a little bit more realistic, but other than that, I mean, yeah, it is basically Stranger Things, just more scary.
Yeah, and like this
Good
fucking
way to-
thing over here, this house, I wish it would have done more of that. Oh wait,
Murder house.
there you go. No, I really wish it would have done more of the house. I feel like, you know, they kept showing it constantly. It was always in the trailer. It was always in the teaser, the TV spots, etc. I was like, ooh, like, okay, let's see what we're gonna do with the house. And really, it was just a build up to basically the ending. And I was like, that kind of bothers me just a little bit because this had, like, Pennywise was scary and it was totally cool that Pennywise was like the main bad guy and everything. But there was times where the bullies were so unrealistic and so just fucking like venomous that I was like, yeah, I'm more scared of the real shit than the clown. Like, those bullies are insane. There's a part where one bully gets the chubby kid and starts chomping at his fucking stomach and everything. And, you know, these people are still concerned, you know, over this clown that may or may not exist sometimes. You know, you never know until, like, certain things happen. But like Alan, like what you feel about the bullies and what you feel about the clown in general, the villainous stuff.
They sit there, they beat the clan. Oh, thank God we're done with the clan. The bullies show up with shotguns and fucking like rocket launchers. Well, shit.
No, man, they were just it was weird, man. They were like literally trying to kill. And I remember there was one scene, I can't remember exactly what the guy said, but I think like the bully was trying to like cut the kid, and his friend was like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing? You're even trying to kill a cat. You're gonna shoot a cat at a certain point."
God, yeah, that was kind of ridiculous. Like that was later on, and it's just like it's funny because when what's it called? When one of the kids brandished a knife, I'm like, that to me didn't seem crazy because I've seen that happen. Like I knew a bully at my school that brandished a knife all the fucking time. He was showing it off, so it's like I've seen that shit before. But when he starts fucking carving into the kid, I'm just like, okay, what the fuck? But it immediately made up for when that chubby kid just kicked him in the balls and just dove off the fucking back. I love that fucking kid so much. He became de facto my favorite character because he kept getting stabbed and like knifed and like attacked, and he was just rolling with it, man. He was not complaining. He was just like, "Oh God, I got hit. I'm good, man. I'm good. Don't worry about me."
No, this kid was really good. I mean, like for one, we kept calling this kid Justin Zarian because sorry, buddy.
He looks just like him.
Yeah,
it is like a
you.
younger version of Justin.
Oh yeah, no, it so was. I'm sorry, Justin, dude.
We're not saying that in any way like to insult. It literally looks like a younger version of you.
No, yeah, he's probably gonna get that a lot now, probably. But no, like that's the thing, though, guys. Like this kid, one of the best fat kids. I hate to say it like that. You know, I am fat too, by the way. Like let's not, you know, like I'm not in the best shape. So put it out there on me. Yes, like this kind of hypocritical. The dude's chubby. But with that said, though, usually fat kids do fat kid shit. Like eating a lot, rolling down some fucking stairs, you know, just embarrassing shit all the time. This kid almost got the girl and didn't for good reasons, by the way, too. Like, they didn't make it like a whole, you know, like, I don't know. I just feel like the way they did the relationship part was really, really cool in this movie, too. And it wasn't too much of a downer, and he was a man about it. Like, he could have been, like, crying his ass off, and he didn't. But yeah, like him being chased by the It Clown, like I thought the clown was gonna make a lot of fat jokes and fuck with him and poke at his like you know, insecurities. They didn't do that, you know. Just a lot of like easy to do shit in horror movies. They didn't do, and I fucking love that about this character. Like, so I totally get why you think he's the best character in this movie, man. But yeah. So what you feel about the clown himself, man?
That's one of the things where it's like the reason I didn't watch this for so long was because when I saw that, I guess I just have my own biases of I don't understand for the life of me why anyone thinks clowns are scary. They're exclusively designed to be like, you know, happy-go-lucky and deliver joy. It's like that's like someone telling me, "Oh man, Santa, he freaks the fuck out of me." It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's joyful and fun. What the hell? So it's like I just avoid watching it. That I don't like horror movies. So it's just like there's literally nothing for me. So when Allie put a gun to me and said, "You're watching this or I kill you,"
And that was pretty scary too.
Literally, she would not like let me live if I didn't watch this movie with her. So yeah, we checked that out. I'm like, oh, okay. Like I found him interesting. As I found it not scary just because I don't think the movie particularly was scary, and that's not a bad thing. Like I found that he was very threatening in his kind of ideals of he never really fucked with you directly. He would always just do some sort of psychological thing based on your fears. And I'm thinking in my head, like, fuck, that's going to be a room full of bees and balloons, man. I'm going to fucking start freaking out if he goes after me. And it's just like, that to me is always a lot scarier than some random guy that's going to show up and just kill you. It's like, yeah, dying is one thing, but also being stuck in a room full of your deepest, darkest fears. That to me is a bit way more threatening because it's like you have no defense against it. No one can really help you. You're kind of, and they point that a lot in the movie where, like, at one point, one of the girls, like, you know, the girl in the movie where the whole bathroom gets covered in blood. Like, the entire room is red. And the dad walks in going, "What are you talking about? Everything's fine." Like, nobody can fucking help you when it's psychologically fucking you up. So it's like, that to me is way more than in any other horror film.
And that's the thing that like really helps me like this movie a lot is because like the original was all like Pennywise the clown and he's the star. This is the original from 1990, and you know like when you see Tim Curry over there, he's relaxed. Like if you look at him, he's kind of like, "Oh, Georgie," the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was kind of creepy too because for one, it was realistic to think that someone would actually go and actually talk to Tim Curry's clown, you know what I mean, and talk to him a little bit. So I was like, yeah, like it would actually work on me a little bit. And plus, too, this is around the time where they're doing Freddy Krueger and stuff like that, so they're really into like making villainous icons. It wasn't like that with this movie. There was situations that were scary, and then when it came down to Pennywise the clown, he just stole the show as being like entertaining. Not necessarily funny, but just seeing how like fast he would run at the camera and do shit. Like it was a jump scare that you knew was gonna happen. It wasn't a cheap jump scare. They were like legitimate, and they weren't like just really quick like blah, blah, and that's it. It was like continual. And I mean, there's things that they could have just flashed for a second and would have been good, and any other lesser horror movie would do something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But anytime he showed up, they had to escape him. It wasn't like, boo, gotcha, can't wait for the next one. It was like, oh shit, is this where a body count thing's gonna start happening? A body count film? This a slasher movie? What the fuck? It's like, oh, it was. I tell you, I love this version of Pennywise, and I love how they really worked with the whole like scaring people over other shit. Even as much as, and I hate to see this happen in so many horror movies now, but like the weird, creepy father shit. So we just saw this in Gerald's game.
Like, hell, how about that? How about the fact that every single parent in this movie is an object piece of garbage? Like,
Yeah.
they're all terrible. Like the father, like, okay, so obviously everyone knows the plot, but like the brother of the kid that got like missing and killed, like he's like, oh man, I made this pipe system, and like based on how the city works and the plumbing system, I'm like, you're a 12-year-old kid and you design a plumbing system in your basement, sure.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like,
exactly.
he's gonna be right here, and Dad goes, fuck you, don't you dare, he's dead. What the hell's wrong with you? And it's just like,
And then
that's
storms
he's
out.
only got a son for his own grieving. It's like, you're a parent. Your job is to make sure that kid can actually, can grieve properly and can move on and can actually live a normal life. And you're yelling at him because he's trying to understand the world? Fuck you. You're a terrible fucking parent. And that was just the first. Like, it gets worse as the fucking movie gets on. To the extent where it's almost comically bad. Like, at one point, like, the one of the bully's kids, like, because that's a scene where it's like, oh, they're opening fire and just, shooting bottles, and then one kid gets a cat, and then the father shows up and just grabs the gun and starts fucking shooting at the kid's floor. Like, you are fucked up for shooting at your fucking kid. I don't care how good your fucking aim is. Like,
Yeah, and this kid, like, I mean, for me, he was the main villain. Like, fuck Pennywise. I was terrified of this fucking kid. Like, that motherfucker needs to go. Someone needs to burn him. Because
he does get fucking, he gets comeuppance near the end, so.
Yeah, and he does, but at the same time, like, the thing about this movie that really sold to me is, like, you don't escape. Like, I hate to bring this up because people are going to be like, oh, okay, Nick, now you're talking shit. But, like, one thing I liked about Freddy vs. Jason, the thing that was cool about that, yeah, I'm sorry, Ruthless. But on top of just the whole fact of, like, Freddy Krueger fighting Jason, I mean, that was cool and everything, and I liked the gore and I liked everything like that. But the idea of the fact that you can't escape Freddy because you guys sleep, so you're going to dream about him. But then you can't escape Jason because when you're asleep, that motherfucker is awake looking for you. So whether you're asleep or not, like, you're fucked either way. And it's like they have their territories, and there's nothing you can do, right? And I like how Jen and chat, she's saying, yeah, Joe Dirt looking ass motherfucker.
I don't know who make that joke during the fucking movie.
Yeah. Joe Dirt looking motherfucker. Yeah, like, that's the thing, dude. Like, he does look a lot like David Spade, actually. Goddamn.
David Spade's great.
Yeah, or the lead singer from Red Hot Chili Peppers. But the thing is, though, I really feel like this character should have had more of a death towards the end, and I also feel like maybe because he was a victim too, and I was like, you know what, dude, like, where you can make me feel bad for this little fucker, like his dad shooting at his feet. The movie was trying to tell me, like, feel sorry for him. His dad's bad. That's why he's like this. And I was like,
that to me is one of the things is I think it was way too crazy with that. Like, if they didn't have the scene where he's carving up the carving up the fat thing was a bit too much. If they took that out, like he threatened him with a knife, which has happened, like that happens all the fucking time. If they just kept it with the threatening of the knife, and then they even had the scene where he's shooting, and that scene, like, that would have been really unrealistic for a parent to just literally be firing at your kid. But it would have made more sense that he's a victim of his father just being a fucking psychopath, and it's like, oh, he wants to act out to get attention. So it's like that makes more sense. But I think they made the kid way too, like, comically evil, and they made the dad on top of that even more comically evil. So it's like it got to the point where it's like, come on, man, I don't care how bad of a parent you are, I don't care how good your aim is, you're not firing a fucking pistol at close range at your child's feet. You are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's not the craziest thing I've ever heard of before, just saying.
That is some
But-
bullshit. I don't care if that shit happens. That is fucking stupid. He's a fucking sheriff too. Like, what?
Yeah, I mean,
there are bad.
Oh,
Sorry,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Ruth?
I was just saying, hurt people. Like, the bully made entire sense to me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got like his
That
thing.
thing for me
Totally
went-
went too like. I felt like they went too far with him. If they scaled him back a little bit, I think the victimizing would have worked a lot more strongly. Because it got to the point where it's like, come on, man. Short of like that kid being like a fucking priest, there's no way you can redeem that guy or at least not even redeem him, make us feel sorry for him. Because like you start off the fucking movie by like carving your name into a fucking kid. You are
But that's the
not
thing,
getting any
that's-
sort of sympathy.
That's the only way you can humanize a character like that. And I think,
But
if I
the
remember
problem
correctly,
is
that's not.
They shouldn't have carved the knife. They shouldn't have carved Like, stop at the carving. Then you would have been fine. And keep the movie the same, but you just limit that kid being literally a psychopath.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like we've seen other stuff that was more abusive there. Like one guy was like doing a custom-made flamethrower to try and burn the kid too. So
Yeah.
it wasn't just him, you know.
True.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, there's childish fooling around. I'm just gonna be the Joker.
The thing is, and
Hey,
one
man.
of these fucked up. Is, like,
Yeah.
I actually set a friend on fire once. So
Oh, and also
Hey,
in the
me and my
original book-
friend actively played with those fireworks to fire out 10 shots. Me and
Yeah.
my friend were actively firing them at each other.
no,
I'm
me
just
too.
saying in the book too that the best friend character they actually cut this out of the movie where he actually did have a thing where he was murdering animals just for fun in the spare time. So over that, I would take the attempt to humanize the other bully character because I don't want to see them do the part when they dump out the freezer full of dead cats that he'd been collecting. So.
Okay, and actually, while you're here and while you said that, this is a good segue to get into this really quick too, because one thing I really did not like that they did, and I know that they didn't go all the way with it, whatever, but still, I have to bitch because they still didn't need to do it. But that weird thing with her being in the fucking lake with all the boys, that was like, all right, like,
That was
are you
just
gonna
them
it was
having
them,
fun.
It was them referencing the orgy scene that's in the book without
Exactly.
actually doing it. Thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't want
Oh,
that
the
to
whole
happen
thing, like-
in this movie.
There's no way they're gonna
Yeah,
fucking
no, 'cause-
put that in this fucking movie. God
Because
damn.
I mean, I
that's the
get. I read up on the orgy scene, and I get. I mean, what Stephen King thought he was doing with that scene, but it didn't work at all. Where he's like, "Oh, it's really rooted in the sexualization of the character, kind of thing." But it's like, yeah, but you're fighting fire with gasoline by doing that. So
No, but the
Fighting
thing that
fire
really
with
that
napalm
frustrated
at that
me
point,
about that though, the thing that really pissed me off is like, okay, and I like this is gonna sound weird coming from me, but hey, just listen, because I feel like
Just listen.
if you're gonna do something like that, do the whole fucking thing, like
Or
because-
don't.
No, because the thing is, like, what they did is they made something that is kind of innocent, like just them being in the lake, whatever, and they made it weird because I know the context of why they're showing down screen. I know that it was
No,
originally
but-
supposed to be sex.
Okay, because the funny thing is I knew about that scene, but I didn't think about it until y'all literally mentioned it. Did they say
Since
that's
the
exactly
FBI
what?
is definitely listening. Please check Nick's hard drive.
no, but
No,
also
because
I
to me,
feel
when
like
I saw that, I just thought it was just a scene of them having fun. Like, I didn't really see. For me watching it, I didn't think of, oh, this is a reference to that scene they're never gonna fucking do.
No, and I
just
don't
thought
think it was a reference to that. I think what the purpose of that was just to show kids discovering their own, becoming older, becoming, they're dealing with girls. This is something new. It's like, yeah, we're having a girl who's hanging
Yeah,
out with
that's
us, and we're at that point we're transitioning. It's not innocent enough to be just playful, but it's not dirty enough to be salacious. So it feels very real to how real kids would handle this kind of situation.
Yeah,
It's-
100%. Yeah, that to me, that's
Yeah.
where I got more from it. Like, I don't know if they came out in a press coverage because they decide apparently news
No.
is just for plot points of fucking movies nowadays. But like, yeah, to me, it's like I just thought, yeah, it's just kids chilling with a chick, and it's just like, yeah, how it's like they're a bunch of kids. It's like we've never even fucking like been within 10 feet of a girl. Now we see a girl half naked swimming. It's like, yeah, of course, they're gonna be a little weird, you know?
Yeah, and one thing I want to bring up because I'm trying to remember the name of the movie. Now I'm gonna piss off like a bunch of fucking movie nerds because I'm gonna get this wrong. But have you ever seen the movie? And tell me if it's wrong. Is either the Summer of 42 or Summer of 69? Is it 42?
Okay, Summer of '69 is a song.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
right.
the Summer of 42 is what I'm thinking of, right? With the boys and the whole fucking the whole thing, like.
What's
I'll
your
look
point?
that up quickly.
How about this?
I'm assuming.
What's your point? And we'll go from there.
Yeah, because the whole thing is like what this movie reminded me of. Because there's a scene where they get out of the lake and then she's laying down, innocent as fuck. It's just a girl laying down, dude.
Oh yeah.
And-
Yes, Summer 42. That is
Okay,
correct.
Summer 42.
It's a movie.
Hey,
I
you got
gotta
it.
tell you, I fucking hate Summer 42. I just watched it like 2 weeks ago. That fucking
Why?
movie is that movie literally is just them getting away with being perverted because it was made back in the day. Like.
I don't
Fuck
know,
that.
and it's an Oscar-winning movie.
Oh yeah, exactly.
What?
We'll get into that.
So
Fucking,
is Suicide Squad.
I'm just teasing him. Just like you, apparently the only one who thinks so.
well, no, but that's the thing. Like with Oscars and all that shit. Like y'all love fucking defending like people who like to fondle a couple of vaginas behind the stage. Like I'm just saying, like.
I'm just teasing. But
Yeah, no, I'm glad that
I
scene
haven't
was
seen the
quick, though.
movie. So,
Yeah, but I mean, like,
yeah,
and
I
that's
can't.
one-
I can't do it. I've never seen it.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, shit. Well, like, but the thing is, like, when you watch Summer 42, because like Justin said, and I'm so glad he said that, by the way, because that movie, it's praised all the fucking time. I had to watch it eventually. Even my mom was praising it. I was like, oh, okay. Well, she has pretty good taste sometimes. She likes Joan Crawford a lot. Like, she was into that show Feud that we were talking about recently, Justin. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, she's really into that. So she's not a cinephile, but she likes that shit. So I gave it a chance. And the whole movie is just like it, where they do things where, like, for instance, like, there's a scene in Summer 42 where this girl laying on the beach just chilling. The dude walks up and looks up her legs, which she's already wearing, like, a fucking bathing suit. And that character is a character that's the protagonist. You're supposed to like this character and want him to get with a girl that he was sneaking up, looking up her legs while she's wearing panties on a beach.
Hey,
But I mean-
Blade Runner had a character literally sexually assault a woman, and they got it together at the end. Anything can happen.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. It's like I feel like that's a theme that's very common in literature. Like even going back way beyond the 20th century. This is something discussed about the sexual nature of youth. That point when you're discovering what is being developed. Because just looking at the plot. I mean, I haven't seen the movie, but I'm just saying, looking at this synopsis here, I've seen books and other movies that are very similar topics that are being explored, and it's very human. It's very universal. It's creepy sometimes, but
It just depends on the context of the movie, because it depends on how they actually do. Because sometimes you have a situation like in It where they made sure they filmed it and made it seem like it wasn't like, hey, let's just be creepy. No, this is childish innocence of seeing a woman like this. But then there are other times where it's like, again, I don't know if that's summer of 42 or 69 or 85, whatever the fuck number you want.
Summer of 2010.
That could have been easily filmed to be more salacious, and it's like, it just really depends on the context of the film you're actually watching, and how they actually film it.
Because here's an example where this is the kid, by the way. Like you see him, oh, nice, sweet guy, right? Just
zoom
trying to
into
enjoy
his
his life. Yeah,
It's
I know,
the 70s. The 70s had tons of zoom ins. So.
Yeah. And around this, there's a part. This is actually a scene right here, and she's helping her up. He's going up a ladder, right? And the whole movie, you see a lot of things where he's just looking at her, and it's just really innocent stuff. It's like, oh, she's so beautiful, right? God, I just wish I could take her on a date, Justin. Oh, just to get some innocent popcorn and soda.
Take it down to the old watering hole.
Oh yes. And then he climbs up the ladder, and he's masturbating at the top of the ladder with his dick in the attic. And he literally has an orgasm while she's chilling there, and he's supposed to be there to help her with shit, to help her clean the house.
So then, Nick, are you a big fan of sex comedies? Then I mean,
No,
I'm not.
not at all. I hate the shit.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
saying, yeah. So, okay.
Yeah, and this is the thing is it starts off something innocent. I feel like if this It movie, the way they directed and everything happened back in 1990, they would have went with that weird ass story of the sexual fucking thing. And also too, watching kids look at a girl sleep, and then as soon as she turns around and wakes up, they're like, oh, let me look in the back, let me do something.
Hey, that's what's fucking funny, man. Come on, we've all been there.
Yeah.
Yep, I've been there.
I mean, yeah, you look. I've been there, but I go like, oh yeah, she's pretty, and I turn around. I don't stare at the bitch like I'm about to eat her. Like,
No, that's the joke. The joke was they looked away when she noticed. They're like,
I love that. It was just like, man, come on, you got to keep one person on watch. Like one person just make sure that everyone else enjoys it. And you switch, man. That's how it works.
but it makes you think what if she didn't turn around? If she would have slept there and it would have got dark outside, were they gonna
Yeah, she just
her
sits
in
there
her
for
ass?
8 hours in the fucking woods.
And also, I'm sure they would have gotten bored at some point. They're like, okay, we've seen it.
No, dicks
whatever.
would have came out, Justin. Okay, I'm a dude. I know how it is. They would have started all jerking off like, dude, it's okay. We won't talk about this. Like,
Maybe
no,
you
that's,
would have, but I think the rest of us have self-control.
I'm just
You know,
saying.
I
that's
agree with
some
Ruthless. I'm agreeing with Ruthless now. Someone check Nick's hard drive right now.
shit. That's
Which
the thing.
apparently,
I was
Nick has,
gonna
like,
say that this is really a common trope. It's so common. I want to say it's the Inkwell. Is a black movie from the '90s with Lorenz Tate, basically doing this entire thing. Like he goes to this place for the summer, and leers has a chick that he's interested in, and then leers at this older woman that he ends up having sex with. So it's kind of it's really common for coming of age stories to have this interesting sexual element that doesn't quite
Jesus.
come off the way you expect it to.
Yeah,
Well, that's
I'm
like The
looking at
Graduate,
chat.
where The Graduate's all about the guy getting to the girl and then, having a hookup with her mom as well, and the whole confusion of sexual identity, those kind of things.
And yes, Skull, just like Porky's.
I was gonna say his thing is make sure Nick never watches this movie. I'm also gonna tell him this movie exists. It's like,
No, I won't
definitely-
watch it. I
They can
won't
definitely
watch
watch Porky's. I think you're gonna have a great time. It's gonna be
it. I'm
hilarious.
good. Thank you.
That or Animal House.
But
It's the best Canadian folk porn that is disguised as a coming of age movie.
great.
those are your boys, man. No, but
Damn it. And Eddie just pulled an
Yeah.
Anthony. His fucking webcam just
No, but that's the thing, man. It's just like, and I know it's like, oh, wow, okay, you're talking about it. You can bring up Summer 42, but it's just like the movie does take place back in the day, and another thing too. And I'm not doing this just because I got two black people in here, but the thing is like the whole thing with that black kid. For one, they don't. And I know, Alan, you guys explained that they killed his parents and the whole thing. But give me some kind of fucking background on the one black kid on the whole city, like.
Well, hey, to be fair, in the book too, it's a lot more racist, because that was a big topic. The fact that he's one of the only black kids in the entire community. And so there's a ton of instances in the book where they call him the N-word, and they did not want to address that at all in this.
But
They
don't
did
you
so in
feel?
the miniseries too.
Yeah, the miniseries they definitely deal with it.
Yeah, but don't you feel it's
Yeah.
weird that they do that thing where, like, just like with that whole perversion thing at the lake, they want to be half-assed with certain things. Like, for instance, they're beating the fuck out of the black kid, right? Like, just 5 people just attack. Like, for one, why are they even doing this? What's the reason? Are they racist? They won't tell you. It's just, let's beat him up. Come on, like, right? Tell
Well,
a
I mean,
story.
it's mitigated a bit because they beat up the other kid first, the fat white kid, and then they beat up the black kid.
Yeah,
So-
they're beating up all the kids. Like they don't need. They
Yeah.
really need a reason for the fat kid. They don't need a reason for the black kid. Like,
Well, I thought the fat thing was just because, like, every fat kid gets his ass kicked. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. Like, I mean,
yeah, but again, it's one of those things
I'm
where.
going to bed. I don't want to talk about this no more.
Well, no, it's one of those things where it's like I think the movie. What you're thinking is the movie's like they needed a reason. Like it's something I always said. Bullies don't need a fucking reason to bully you. They sometimes a bully for being 2 feet tall. Sometimes a bully for fucking wearing glasses or being fat. It's like that's a situation where they were just fucking bullying him just because they could. Like I don't think the movie needs to sit there and specify a reason for the bullies are being pieces of shit because they're bullies. That's the fucking their job is to be assholes.
Yeah, it makes me think of those bullies from Dexter's Lab, where it's like, they have their shirts that say, "I hate kids with funny accents" or something like that.
No, it just for me, it just felt like because and I was gonna complain about that too, actually, about the fat kid, because I really I get like fuck with fat kid, calling him fat, like, oh look at you look like a fucking tub of goo, fat fuck, whatever,
Sure.
I get it, but like to stab him, what did he do?
That's what I'm saying. Like to me, I think if they just had it where they threaten him with a knife, which has happened, like to me,
Yeah.
that would have been fine. Like okay, that makes sense. And Eddie put in something in the chat saying like, the whole creature has been fucking with the town for a while to to different kids. So it's like it makes sense. Oh, this one kid he was able to, because that same kid like eventually just straight murders his dad like near the movie. So it's like okay, maybe it's just like because the rest of the kids were like, what the fuck, dude? Like. So he just seems like he was going too far, and it's like, I just think they went a little too far with that personally.
Yeah, well, and that's a trope of Stephen King too, is that most of his bully characters will be drawn to that level of like, serial killer almost kind of thing. So it's like,
it's like again the Joker, like carving his fucking name in or something.
Thing is,
Every
like,
villain's not the Joker. Let's stop this.
Dude, oh come on, the Joker
Apparently called it the Joker 90 times.
Okay,
in this
pick your
conversation.
Zaz then if you want a different. Just no one knows who the fuck that is.
It's the concept of like they're bullies, which means most likely they're slowly on the path to becoming psychopaths.
Yeah.
And killing animals is one of those first steps. Bullying is one of those other steps. So yeah, of course it would escalate to them killing someone. Also, Nick, if you're afraid of fat kid violence, don't ever watch Lord of the Flies or read it for that matter.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah, I never.
Yeah, don't ever read Lord of the Flies or you might fall asleep halfway through.
Oh,
that is one of my favorite books.
I don't give a
forget that.
shit.
That is,
Wait, Justin, I loved when you did that. Like, don't you talk
read
about
that-
my.
I read that fucking book when I was 13 years old. That fucking book is so goddamn boring.
I read that book when I was 13-year-old, and I could not put it down twice.
Yeah,
It's so good.
I could have put it down too. I had to do it for an assignment. That fucking book sucks. I'm sorry, man.
No.
No, but the thing is, though, is like.
Yeah, Alec, you're the people who get Kill a Mockingbird banned in states. Like what?
No,
They
I
just-
could, because that book fucking
Yeah,
sucks
yeah,
too.
yeah.
I fucking said it.
Oh Lord.
And you know what? Harry Potter is mediocre.
That's okay.
Hey, Harry
I
Potter's
don't
not
give a shit about
classic literature. It's fun. It's fun. It's not classics.
I know.
Harry Potter are classic books now. Just saying.
Yeah, they are. They actually are.
Are they?
Yeah.
That's like one of the most iconic series of all time at this point. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, classic to me, I don't know, classic to me is always something that just
Iconic
like
and
spans like
popular.
decades, like almost like 50, 60, 70. Like,
So by that logic, are we going to teach Twilight in schools too? Because that was a huge hit at its time.
hey,
Actually,
we almost,
yeah.
we almost
Okay, hey, now let's
We
not
almost read
compare
Lord of the
Harry
Rings.
Potter
It's
to
popular.
Twilight,
It's 50
okay?
Shades of Grey iconic because it's popular too.
okay. So we almost read Lord of the Rings in my school for English class. Almost read Lord of the Rings 3.
man, that's gonna explain
Okay.
a lot. I'm just playing.
To be fair, I think Lord of the Rings. I know it's sacrilege. The books are super boring. I will give
Oh
you
no,
that.
I have a buddy of mine that straight up said like the movies are 100 times better than the books because it's like
Yeah.
the books
The
go
movies are
so
so boring.
long explaining every fucking detail,
Yeah,
where the
they-
movies
they
are
don't-
they cut out a lot of stuff.
They don't sing like 17 ballads and talk about trees for whole chapters. So
This,
And that's the thing that Stephen King does a
got
lot.
grass.
And the thing is, like, when Stephen King doing that so much, I feel like this movie should have took some of that. You should have explained a little bit in your own fucking shit. Because doing a movie sometimes is like writing a fucking book. Because you have to write the fucking shit that you're going to direct on screen. And for me, like, directing, hey, fucking round of applause. Amazingly shot the whole thing. But I don't care about that shit because you can amazingly shoot a turd in the toilet. So I don't give a fuck.
yeah, we call it The Room.
Exactly, but But as far as the writing though, not horrible, but just like, dude, like this movie. If you don't like Pennywise, then you're not gonna like this movie because Pennywise is the only thing that's like really really good about the film. Now I loved it. I actually loved the movie because I love villains. I love icons like that. I love Freddy Krueger.
Wait. So you say horrible writing, but I love the movie. It's so good.
Yeah, exactly. No, because dude, I say about a lot of shit like Transformers. You making robots come to fucking Earth. It's the most dumbest shit in the world, and I love it so much. Like I fucking love it. Like, I'm obsessed with Transformers.
Anyway.
Nick is to shitty movies what Julian is to also shitty movies.
But I will admit they're shitty. I will so admit they're shitty. If you asked me, like, Nick, should I watch Transformers? I'm like, do you want to see
That
shit?
doesn't make it any better, man.
But for me,
They're
it
the
does.
Batman and Joker antagonistic relationship. They're two sides of the coin.
No,
Hey,
it's just like,
anyway,
because there's people here that are like me that just wants to see shit go boom, like just.
Hey, yeah, again, every now and then you wanted to see something. You don't really want to sit there and have to, write notes and take a test during a movie, but it's always a mix of that. And I kind of disagree with you with the writing in this because one of the things that made me really enjoy the movie was a mix of the dialogue that the kids had. Because the kids' reactions and the kids' dialogue, to me, is what made the fucking movie. Like, to me, this would have been the typical horror movie, the typical scenes of whatever. Some fucking horror villain is fucking with the kids, whatever, not killing them. Who gives a shit? It's the kids' reactions and their dialogue that makes it real, and it's a kaleidoscope effect of you have some kids that are just they're fucking catatonic, but then there's the one kid, one of my favorite characters, the kid that's a hypochondriac who's just freaking out every fucking 5 seconds. That kid was great. He's like, "What the fuck? How do I get out of here? What the fuck this out?" He fucking wants to get out of here every second. It is great.
No,
Like,
but then they have that.
made the movie.
They have the HBO effect though too, where it's like, oh my god, we're a movie that's rated R. Fuck.
Okay, this is actually like. I actually like.
though, don't they?
No, they do it what? They actually do it really good to the extent where I was thinking in my head, I'm like, is this actually a rated R movie? Then I'm like, oh yeah, they do say fuck more than once, so it's like it has to be. It's like to me, unlike
they said like 50 times.
Well, that's the thing. To me, it's like it didn't feel overbearing like in Logan or in Deadpool. It's like they said it to me. It's like it made sense why it was happening. It wasn't during scenes like, oh, let's just walk down the street. Hey, fuck you, have a nice day. It was like when it was in the room or they were running around or the fucking kid gets his arm broken. Like that. It's like they used it where it made sense, where it felt like actual natural dialogue.
Now, Alex,
that's the thing. That's what I always said about language because I complained about it on the show too. It's like bad language only stands out if the dialogue itself is bad or it's not motivated. In Logan, they'll just say, well, yeah, I mean, it's not good dialogue. If you say the F word, makes it so much better. But here it's like, yeah, the dialogue is actually funny, and it's, the F words don't feel gratuitous in that sense. So I will agree with you.
And Allie, you were I heard you go like, what did you feel about the cussing? Like, do you feel like I'm bitching? Like I'm, what do you feel?
Yeah, I do. No, yeah, because like what Justin said, it felt organic because that's what kids that age say. Like this is what all kids have done, and I felt like they did it just enough. It wasn't overbearing. It wasn't like, okay, we're R-rated, so like let's just say it whenever we want to. Like I felt like it all had it. Like they used the words very sparingly and in the right places, so that like people who are normally offended by that language won't be offended.
Okay. And I mean, and I wasn't necessarily offended. I was just kind of like, like, are you guys like ad-libbing? Because like that'd be cool if the kids like just like.
I'm sure it was. Like again, the kid freaking out. Like I'm sure they didn't have actual dialogue of now sound like you're a 3-year-old girl. Now tone it down. It's like they probably just had like just start kind of freaking out and whatever comes to mind because they wanted a situation where it's like you could not have a situation where you could write dialogue of someone freaking out. You just kind of say whatever comes to your mind. Just be really hyper about it.
Yeah. Now, Eddie, I want to ask you before we continue on to ratings and everything. Like, did you watch it yet or no?
Yeah, I saw it like a week after it came out.
Yeah,
and really enjoyed it.
Yeah, because that's the thing too. Like everyone seems to like it. Now I'm gonna just start off because I know people are probably gonna talk shit, but this movie is a 4 out of 5 for me. I fucking love this movie way more than the first one. It would have been a complete perfect film if just better writing, man. Like I'm sorry, but like I like it because every time Pennywise came out, I was like, yes, that was worth the wait. Oh, he's fucking awesome. I love Pennywise. And then they'll do something stupid and silly, like him doing that dance meme. I'm sorry, you guys said to wait till you watch the movie.
Awesome.
Okay, I agree with Nick on this. Like, I was like listening to you, in context. I'm like, sure, in context, anything makes sense. But when it came up, I'm just like, it kind of just felt like it felt like that's the only part of the thing that I felt like they crowbarred in. Like, okay, he's the dancing clown. Let's have him dance at some point. It's like, when you actually see the movie, I'm like, I guess. I don't know. It just to me it felt like really out of nowhere.
I feel like that was
Yeah,
done.
But that's
to
the
get
point. The
memes.
point is that they never show him dancing.
Yeah,
'cause
but
it's
I
the
feel
pain
like
in the mouth.
it made no sense to me.
I
You know what would have been
took it-
funnier? If so, what?
Well, I mean, I was gonna say I took it as like the creature. He latched on to Pennywise because that's just like that's the person that he felt like, okay, I'm gonna have this as my persona now. So
Sure.
like he's terrible at being a clown. He's terrible at his job, but like he wants to perform and he wants to overperform himself. But he's absolutely terrible at doing it. So that's how I interpreted the dancing scene. Is him trying too hard.
I get that, but I think that the context
So
of what happened in the
Pennywise
movie
is
feels
pervert.
the context of the movie I felt was way too random. I think it would have been funnier if one of the kids was watching TV. Like, you know how they had a TV, like, have a TV where there's a musical going on, and then he shows up dancing like that? I think it would have been much fucking
Well,
better.
there was that one scene where with the kid with his dad and that such.
That was my favorite scene in the movie, where it's like, kill them all. I'm like, man, kid shows were violent back then.
Yeah.
No, the funny thing is, before that happened, like, if you heard on the TV, it's throughout the movie. When you hear the TV going, you do hear them, like, say stuff like, you'll float too, or something like you'll hear that all throughout the movie, and it's not until, like, that scene with the bully that you really start paying attention. But, like, if you go back and listen to it, you'll hear them, like, distorting the voices, like, up so slightly for a second. Like, it's pretty funny.
Yeah. And,
So I will say that Pennywise does Gangnam Style better than my dad, looking at it on the bad movie.
and the one thing too,
And that's the bar we're looking at. Okay.
and the big thing too to be looking at as well that I really love about the fucking movie too is like everything in the trailer. Man, that's how you do a movie and a trailer in conjunction with each other. Because even though I knew a lot of the shit was gonna happen, I was still surprised when it happened. Like that whole like you'll float
Same.
too. I was like, okay, I've seen this. Like I was actually literally about to like walk out. Cause like, oh, I've seen this already. And I was about to like leave the room, and
Right.
it was way scarier in the movie than it was in the trailer. That shit
Oh yeah,
was
I agree.
fucking.
I was surprised by that too, because I was like, "You'll float too." I'm like, Jesus Christ, if I hear this one more goddamn time. But then I saw the movie, I'm like, oh wow, that's actually kind of terrifying because the
Yeah.
kids,
Oh, yeah.
again, it's context does make the scene. So when you hear it in that context of this kid basically saying, "Hey, come over here and get brutally fucking murdered like me," like that kind of made it for me.
Yeah, that was fucking badass. So yeah, like for me, 4 out of 5. Justin, have you changed anything since your last review, man? Like, what do you feel about it now?
Not at all. I think this movie is amazing still. And, I'm just so happy that it's succeeding so well. It's currently the highest grossing horror film of all time. Like, it's made the most money
Yes.
Damn.
R-rated
Deserves it.
horror film. So I think like it crossed 300 million domestically. It deserves it. It deserves like it's it's the big thing I like about horror films that are done well. It's not trying to be gratuitous. It's not trying to be cheap. It's not trying to be gory and bloody for the sake of gory and bloody. It's a movie that's genuinely about the people involved trying to survive and experience. And yes, it's not like the scariest movie I've ever seen. Jaws is scary. I would say
Yeah.
that. But it's having said this is a movie like the whole time I was never bored. Like I was totally in with it the entire time. And I'm sure Allie, you probably haven't changed your opinion either. For me, it's 4.5 out of 5.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah, what do you feel, Allie?
What Justin said.
What does it-
Basically.
Eddie, how about you, man? What would you rate it?
I guess a 4 out of 5. It's pretty refreshing to have a horror movie where it actually has characters that you like
Yeah.
instead of just a bunch of miserable people shouting and bitching at each other throughout the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
No,
And I
seriously.
didn't know how much like humor would actually make a horror movie, so much more fun than they usually are. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I like the movie a lot.
Yeah, man. No, me too.
Um,
that fucking thing was badass. And yeah, Ruthless. I don't think. Have you watched the movie yet, man?
I have seen the movie. Saw it a couple times. Once just with some friends and another. My mom wanted to see it because she's a really big Stephen King fan, so we went to see that as well. I give it I give it a 4 out of 5 as well. This is something that you guys didn't really bring up, but it's I think the thing that everybody appreciates. It's kids who still are making generally smart decisions, but are still making kid decisions with a killer that's always a step ahead of them.
Mhm.
And you never feel like, God, you people are so stupid. Like you never have that moment in the film. I think that's what really makes it. So 4 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, I think there's only maybe 1 or 2 scenes, and I remember Allie and I, we both commented. There was like, okay, why exactly did this happen? Because they were making so many good decisions until this decision here.
No, dude, we're full
splitting up.
spoilers. We're full spoilers in. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
They split up so many times. What the fuck? Why do people
Well,
split
yeah.
up in horror movies?
Man, oh yeah, that dude, my favorite scene
Watch
was
that
the
with
fucking.
saying they're kids. Like the kids would think, well, he can't catch all of us at once.
I mean, for me, I'd be like, because I mean, I'm people say I'm still a kid because I'm a big dumbass. But like, I mean, for me, I feel like like I would hang around with my friends. I'd be like, guys, stay close. Like, I don't know. Like, if there was a monster.
Alan, where are you going? I'm getting the fuck out of here. Fuck you.
I'm going with my bird shit. No, but
Fuck out, fam.
but
You're already
Alan,
halfway down the driveway. I ain't going to that fucking house. Go fuck yourself.
but Alan, what would you rate this out of 5, man?
That's the thing. I was actually genuinely surprised that I liked this. I expected just to be like, oh, this is just another Stephen King adaptation that I'm either lukewarm about or hate. Like, a lot of his fucking adaptations. One of the things is like, yeah, again, it subverts a lot of the expectations I came in walking in, where it's like, this is a genuine threat on a psychological basis that didn't feel overbearing, or I had to fucking, read a psychology book to try to get what the movie is getting at. It was clear enough that the subtlety was there on top of all of them. And I liked almost everything about the movie. It was one of those things where it's like, whenever you watch a movie, you always have to ask yourself, are you ever going to watch this again? And to me, I definitely want to go back and just rewatch it because we saw it in like bullshit quality. Like the worst quality you could fucking imagine. 30% of the screen had subtitles on at any given second. It was fucking funny.
Airbnb.com or some weird shit.
And it was in a different language too. I was making a joke because it was in a different language. I'm like, imagine if that was just spoiling the whole fucking movie. We just would not know because it's in a different fucking language. But yeah,
I watched it in the theater. I don't advocate piracy.
I watched
I watched it the first time in the
no,
theater.
of course we did it through a very legitimate source.
No, we actually all went together to go see it, Justin. And then we watched it again.
We made our own subtitles. We made it up. Anyway, point is, like, I don't know what you guys are saying, that the characters, they felt very smart, and it made sense for the decisions they made as they were kids and the consequences that was happening. My only problems are I felt that every single parent in the movie was an abject piece of shit. And to me, it's just like that always bothers me when the parents are just the worst fucking people in the world for no apparent reason. But yeah, no, again, the villain was threatening, the characters were great, the setting was great. And my favorite scene in the entire fucking movie has to be when they're in the murder house and there's just 3 doors and it goes, not very scary, scary, super fucking scary.
Yeah.
Oh my goddamn asshole. I'm just like, pick the very scary one, throw them off. You would never expect that to happen. So I definitely give it a 4 out of 5, mostly because I think there's a bunch of the characters that were just, like I said, I think his name was Stan. It was the Jewish kid who I kept forgetting was in the movie. I felt that some of the other characters could have used a little bit more building towards actually kind of get going, but I think for the most part, I did like everything in the movie. So definitely a 4 out of 5.
Well, I'm excited too because apparently they're getting a director's cut for this movie when it comes on home release.
Really?
So it's extra footage that might explain those. Yeah, I'll be
more
excited.
child murder.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Fuck yeah.
No, and Justin would be like, oh, I really can't wait for that orgy scene.
They put the orgy scene in the extra.
Here's the thing, Nick, when you say about the orgy scene, even when the book came out, nobody liked that scene. That's the thing. It's like, it's not just they sent it for
Okay,
movie.
who's going to say that was a great scene? Who's going to sit there and be like, oh man, that orgy scene, that was
pedophiles
great.
are going to say that. Pedophiles love that scene.
Yeah, and anyone that likes that scene, you just round them up and arrest them.
Now, here's the thing. I know this is kind of out of nowhere, but I'm pretty sure we've all seen
That's what she
this.
said.
Today. Oh wait, actually no, it's not today anymore. Fuck.
No, she didn't, Alan.
I was gonna say today was Friday the 13th, but no, we do the show on a Saturday, so fuck. But really quick, and I mean, anybody in here, has anyone seen the first Friday the 13th movie?
I haven't.
Sure.
Actually.
You
I've
have?
seen bits and pieces.
I have it.
Wow.
I am so surprised. Because
It's
here's
the one without Jason.
we have not discussed horror movies in a long time, and I've watched this so many times. I've watched the entire series so many times, the Friday the 13th series. And I know Sammy ain't seen shit that just did Jason X, which I feel like was a very bad idea to start off with Jason X, because that is the bane of its fucking existence.
Yeah.
that was
Jason X is a great movie, and you know it.
They didn't learn from Leprechaun 4. Don't put things in scenes. They're just a terrible idea.
Hey, Leprechaun
look,
4 is
I love that was a nice alternative story for the cast of Andromeda, but it's a shitty movie.
Yeah. No, but here's the thing, though. On top of that being one of the worst ones, which, I mean, I loved Jason X, honestly. It's just, as a movie, it's fucking so stupid. But if you want to see Jason do a couple cool things, like watch clips for that on YouTube. Don't watch the movie. But one more that was really fucking bad. And no one likes to bring this up. And I don't know why they don't, but the first Friday the 13th movie. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, obviously, it was yesterday, Friday the 13th, the whole thing. And, we haven't talked about any horror movies lately, except for it right now. But, man, I gotta tell you, dude. This is one of the worst fucking horror movies. A complete ripoff of Halloween. And I will say, man, like when it comes to shit like this, like Alan, like you said you've seen it, right?
No. I think it was Justin, and you just mistake us two white guys.
Yeah. Justin, you've seen it then, right?
I've seen it too.
White.
Yeah. Well, Justin, have you seen it?
No, so that's to say, no, I haven't. I think most everyone else. Allie, did you say you had or hadn't?
I have.
Oh, she
Okay.
has. Okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't grow up watching. I didn't grow up watching horror movies a lot, so there's a lot of those like blank spots I have. But even me, saying about Friday the 13th, I feel that way about it because it's like, hey, that came out when Halloween was big, Nightmare on Elm Street was big. Friday the 13th was just popular because it was a good midnight movie you could take your date to, and Jason looked cool. I think that's really its only impact, just based on what I understand about the movie.
Now, Allie, like when you first saw this movie, obviously, like, did you watch this like before you knew that Jason was a huge superstar or anything, or not?
I watched this after. Like I was expecting Jason to be in the first one, and I was surprised that he wasn't until like the last scene. Which that jump scene, that's like the best part of the movie, by the way, because like you don't see it coming.
Oh yeah.
It just takes you by surprise. So, that's like the best part of it. But
yeah, because the thing is, like, what do you think? Because obviously, it's Jason's mom that's killing everybody. Now, do you feel like movies like this, like body count movies, do you feel like this should be a thing that happens like currently? Because for me, I miss movies like this. I just feel like this was done wrong. Like this was done so just lazily. But what do you think?
I honestly don't think we need any more like that because, like, I feel like it's a part like Friday the 13th, Halloween. All those movies are really like a product of his time, and that's when it was at the height of its popularity. And right now, I feel like we're yearning for something different and new and interesting. That it would just be redundant to do another like body count movie.
Yeah, and
having said that, we still
They
get.
should do Friday versus.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, John.
Yeah. No, having said that, we still get a lot of killer movies like that. It's just we don't get them in the vein like classic slasher films because we did them to death so hardcore. It's like how many different masks or different themes can a killer have? Like what? He had Happy Death Day with a babyface killer. So
yeah,
Scream was really the last like memorable like aspect like horror.
Yeah, something that actually has a story to it, or some kind of like gimmick that actually works for it. Like, yeah, you're right.
and that's funny because that was making fun of slasher films too. So
yeah.
Hey, you're clearly forgetting the most recent one, John Wick.
Yeah, that's a body count film actually.
Hey, look at that movie from the bad guy's perspective. That is a horror movie.
But the thing is, though, is like when you think about this, Allie. Like, I mean, like for me, I really love Jason movies, and not because they're good, they're all bad, but it comes to the thing of just like I like seeing Jason just kill people, and I just fast forward to the end. I pass all the sex scenes. I just want to see Jason just fucking slaughter people. No, because the sex scenes are awful too. I would love to see a good, nice.
Oh, you're rating the sex scenes?
Well, no, I'm not rating the sex scenes.
Wait. Are they like?
Now, is it
Are they-
is it rental or is it better than sex?
Oh, oh no, it's not.
Oh God,
It's certainly not better than sex or is a full price. But I will say though that I would rent that ass. The thing is though, as I'm thinking about this, I just feel like the Jason movies are cool. That first one was bad, but then they remade it in 2009, and that's what we're talking about. You guys thought I was gonna talk about this other shit? No. I watched this again recently. This fucking movie was really, really good and gets no love. I like how, and the reason why I brought up the first movie is everyone talks about, Mrs. Voorhees and Jason and all these other fucking Friday the 13th movies. And no one likes to give respect to the remakes because for a while there, and Justin probably knows this more than anybody, but there was like a period, and we still are there, where we get lots of reboots like over and over again. We can't just get over the fucking past. We gotta remake shit constantly. But like, I guess it just became a thing. People like were prejudiced against that practice of film. And they just started bitching just because it's a remake. This is a movie that's so much better than all the other Jason movies, and I want to see if anyone has a reason as to why it's not. Like, Eddie, what did you feel about, the remake of Friday the 13th? Because I know you've seen it.
Yeah, I think I was listening to Junk Food Cinema with I had Cargill and Brian Salisbury, if anybody's ever seen that, and they actually mentioned it one time, and Cargill was like, "Yeah, that's actually the best movie in the series." But I think it might be the best technically made movie in the series, but it's just not the most memorable one.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's because
That's probably what it comes down to.
Yeah, because like the memorabilia, like no, but the fact, but the fact of like those memorable moments. There we go. Fuck you, Justin. The memorable moments of the movie were done already ahead of the movie because you see it done in 8 films. So I think that's why people.
Yeah, well, because it's a remake of 1 and 2, right? Isn't that what the plot is?
Actually, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Which is
how little plot are there in 4 Jason movies that you can combine them into one movie and still be able to?
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah,
The next Superman movie has every Superman movie ever fucking made as a plot.
Yeah, no, seriously.
That's what Batman v Superman basically was, right?
Yeah, it was.
Not really.
Right down to the origin of both. But yeah, wait, we actually didn't do Superman's origin. My bad.
No, because they did that in the movie. They just touched on Batman's.
They talk about it. The whole reason Lex Luthor is able to make Doomsday is because they rehash why the what's meant there.
Man, I'm gonna just rename the show.
Batman's parents at the beginning of the movie.
In slow motion.
You know, I honestly, okay, I will say this. That shit was so short. I was actually convinced that they only did that just to show, like, oh, what if Negan was Batman or in Flashpoint?
No,
Batman?
you're right because they've been talking about that. That they got those, and of course they put 2 memorable actors in them, so that they could actually bring them back in other aspects of it. Hell, they talked about it in that they're doing Flashpoint for the Flash movie.
Yeah, and
I think they're
Flashpoint.
Yeah, they're debating on whether to bring him in because I mean Jeffrey Dean Morgan, the instant they announced they're going to do Flashpoint, he's like, "I want to do it. I'll be Batman. I'll do it."
hot diggity dog.
Who doesn't want to be Batman?
No shit, man. Like that's awesome. I can't wait for that shit. But that's the thing. It's like when I think about like remakes and just getting old shit and rehashing it. I gotta say, like this is one of the best examples of doing that because you took something that was so shitty and made this fucking like. Well, not awesome, but like okay.
That's why you liked it because Michael Bay produced it.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
No
I was okay, dude. Here's the thing that's funny.
What,
I was
did you think no one would know?
No, I was trying to find the spot where it doesn't say that because I knew Justin was gonna talk shit. I accidentally put it right on the
Nick is
fucking.
Hey,
Michael
it's from the
Bay
producer, which means he was basically the guy that funds the money so that they could do all those shitty remakes. Like, you want to bring up why nobody was into it is because when those remakes were happening, that was the same time they did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. I think they also did that roughly around the same time they did the Freddy or the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Like, remakes get a bad name because there's been so many crappy remakes.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And that's the thing that's kind of frustrating to me because I feel like everyone should go see this fucking thing. I think that this is a movie that, Sammy should have watched. You know what I mean?
And if you want like a situation of what they should do with these, do what they've been doing for the last couple of years now and soft reboots where you take the premise essentially of the original, but you do it in a more modern setting and change a bunch of stuff up. So if you want to do, another Jason movie, another Freddy movie, don't forget that the other ones existed, but set it essentially after the fact and reference it as you need to. Like, or Star Wars, The Force Awakens, where it's like you take the idea, you reference the old ones, but you also add a lot of new things so you can continue in a different direction. Instead of less of a body count movie, make it more of a situation where, hell, I still think that they should do this. I would love to see them do more of a universe of horror villains, like a situation where this stuff has been happening. Like, if you want the ideal one, like instead of having 5 different horror movies, have a situation where people are starting to like these situations happened, and somebody's going, "Wait a second, these situations are happening in different cities, but there's different villains doing it."
Yeah, and I don't know, man. Like I said, I completely agree with you. I just feel like there is still shit. Like, people have done it right. You know what I mean? Like, you even brought up Chainsaw Massacre, and that fucking thing has gained reboot after reboot. They have reboot sequel reboots. Like, what the fuck? And there's a couple at the beginning that were good. Just a couple.
Yeah, no, Nick, why waste all that time come up with new ideas when you can do the same exact thing?
Look at the Saw movie.
Hey, you know what? To be fair, I've heard early reviews for the new Saw movie are actually pretty good. So we'll
Jigsaw,
see.
yeah. And maybe that's more about the character rather than the traps and everything.
How much more of the character can we talk about? Fuck.
I don't even feel like they talked at all about him. I feel like
you talk. Oh, dude, I've seen all of them. Have you? If you talk about Batman's origin story, Jesus Christ, they kill him off in the 3rd movie, and for the next 4 movies, they still reference him.
Yeah. I don't know, but this movie, for me, I feel like the first one definitely was a complete 0 out of 5 for Friday the 13th. I know we're still on that. It's like, what the fuck, Nick? We done.
Yeah.
But for me, yeah, like seriously, like as I'm talking about this. Like, I actually really fucking hate this movie. Like, I really fucking hate it. It's so bad, and they get away from all the fucking death scenes. Like, you don't see anything except for like the one girl with the axe to the face, and apparently that's just on these re-releases. The original, you don't even get to see people get killed.
A different time again. It's probably a different time when the movie was released, where they couldn't actually show as much violence as nowadays. You can do whatever the fuck you want, and even on a PG-13 rating.
If I remember, the original one was actually kind of violent. Wasn't the kill with Kevin Bacon really violent that they showed?
Yeah, right through the neck, like when he's laying down in the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is one of his first things. It's funny how these big actors get their shit. Like Kevin Bacon starts in Friday the 13th, Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street, Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween. Like, you know, it's pretty cool shit. But no, like, you're right. That was a very brutal death, Justin. But I think in the original, it's a cutaway. You see his mouth go, oh, and that's it. And in re-releases, they showed it actually going through the throat with the
Yeah,
blood
I'm sure they filmed it, but it just probably the politics at the time. It's like they couldn't really get away with, even with the rating. They probably had trouble. Like, yeah, we can't have you showing a movie where it's just people getting fucking murdered. Like, that's not gonna fly with audiences. And it's like, oh, nowadays, like,
Yeah,
oh, that's what people
and that was a problem because they were having a lot of discussions about the video nasties, like early zombie films, Cannibal Holocaust. There was just so much controversy about showing violence to the public.
Yeah.
So I don't blame them. I mean, I assume that's probably why.
Yeah, again.
Yeah. So.
Exactly, yeah. So, but yeah, for me, definitely fucking 0 out of 5. Allie, I was going to ask you, like, what would you rate the first Friday the 13th movie? And would you ever watch it again? Because honestly, I don't see anyone actually doing that.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't. I mean, unless it's on AMC and it just happens to be a Friday the 13th marathon. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably rate it like 2 out of 5.
Now, did you watch the remake, by the way? I'm actually curious.
I feel like I've watched it in bits and pieces. I really barely don't remember it though. So
that's what all Jason fans say. It's like, I think I've seen it because it's Jason, so I probably have in another movie.
You're right. They should do a sequel to Jason versus Freddy.
Yeah, or Freddy versus Jason.
Sorry, I fucked that up as soon as I started. I was like, where am I going with this?
Okay.
No, so I looked it up too. The remake of Friday the 13th was also done by the guy who did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. So okay, that's some good credit to.
That's good credit, but here's the thing. Sorry to do this again. To talk about old shit, but Justin, you triggered me, bro. You triggered me. What is your fucking problem with Freddy versus Jason?
I've never seen it, so I can't say anything about it.
Wait, what the fuck? You just responded to Alan saying like, oh god, no, and you never seen Freddy versus Jason? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I've seen enough clips. I'm just like, I don't feel like I want to see a sequel. I'm just saying in general. I don't think anyone wants to see a sequel.
I want a sequel.
I want a sequel.
Okay. Mostly to
fuck
Eddie.
You want a sequel?
You guys get a sequel. Go get a sequel. Go ahead.
You know what? Fuck this show.
I'd watch it.
I'm gonna give me a sequel right now. Fuck.
He's not coming back.
I mean, I don't want to see
presents Freddy versus Jason 2.
Electric
because
Boogaloo.
it's not going to be Robert Englund. Like, Robert Englund's not going to do Freddy again, so I don't want to see a sequel.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah, sure.
If you were to choose somebody to play as Freddy Ruthless, who would you choose?
Freddy Ruthless.
Wait, I call him Freddy Ruthless?
I like it. I like that.
Fuck, goddamn. Okay,
Freddy
Ruthless.
Ruthless.
It's gonna be a wrestling character in 2K18 and shit. No, Ruthless. Like, who would you have play as Freddy Krueger?
Honestly, I wouldn't. I seriously don't think anybody should try that. They tried it with Jackie Earle Haley, and he comes off as just a pedophile, and it's like there was nuance to what England was doing that made him so iconic as the first villain you really could kind of, in a horror movie at least, where you kind of get behind them and like them as a person and build a franchise around them. So I really think, like, now that he has basically said he's not going to do another one, just don't make any more of them. Like, don't bring Freddy in unless you put him in a fighting game. Other than that, his voice. Other than that, I don't want to see any more Freddy Krueger stuff because it's not the same as Jason. Jason, you always have him behind a mask, so you never have to worry about seeing him as the person acting choices. Like, Freddy's entirely different. Freddy is like it. This is so ridiculous. Like, it's like replacing iconic, villains in non-superhero stuff. Like, if you were to go into remake The Matrix, do you really want to get somebody other than Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne? Not really.
Hell yeah.
It depends. It depends.
Not when you really think about it. No, when you back films, that blank mask of Keanu Reeves makes Neo interesting because you put yourself in Neo's place. Like, the Merovingian, interesting character. Everything a Smith. Like, imagine somebody else playing Agent Smith. You
No,
know,
that's only I was gonna say. Yeah, you can't replace Agent Smith.
You
Hugo
can replace Agent Smith, of course. So you just find someone who's like actually evil in real life.
Hugo Weaving is evil. He always plays violence. Come on, you can't get more evil than Hugo Weaving.
Who
I mean,
even
he
did
plays a good
Megatron's
guy in Lord of
voice?
the Rings.
So
Lord of the Rings is so boring, nobody wants to watch that shit again.
I'm just saying,
What?
Hugo Weaving, the best thing he ever did is Megatron for Transformers 1. So it's like, for me, like,
Yeah, that's the height
And
of his.
then he just had the freaking calls to say, "Oh, superhero films. Oh my god, that's just like totally like beneath me." Yeah, you were freaking Transformers.
I'm
Like,
sorry, but like, dude, like, you gotta love that shit. He's like, give her the cube, boy, you little motherfucker.
I can
like,
smell you, boy.
you smell like
What?
bitch.
America. So
Wait.
he was,
Wait,
He was the Red Skull.
He says you can smell
He's
them?
Red Skull.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, this is a stupid
Yeah.
question. Why would robots need
God
a sense of
damn
smell?
it. Shut the
Exactly.
fuck.
they're aliens.
That doesn't explain shit.
It doesn't.
I told you guys it was a stupid story. I like the explosions. What the fuck?
Yeah, Alan, that's one detail among many, many, many.
It's been a long time since I've seen the first Transformers movie.
Don't watch it
Hey, I
again.
think we found our movie night.
No.
Oh, fuck no.
No!
No.
I
Hell
want
no.
to
Those
do this, you
movies-
guys.
Those
You
Transformers
guys-
movies get so much longer every movie too. Like, what was the last one? Was like 2.5 hours, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It was 2 hours. Less than 2 hours. I remember that shit. It was an hour and 57 minutes.
Still have not watched that last one.
I gotta tell you, the last night was my last try on that fucking shit. I would never
The
watch
last
Transformers
time we
again.
watched
Like, I'm not watching that shit ever. Alan, why'd you tell me that I was even gonna like it? What the fuck is?
I never fucking said anything. What are you talking
No, you
about?
told me you were like, dude, you just check it out. You might like it.
When did I say that? That was Julian or Justin saying that shit.
I would never tell
Justin
Nick
would never say that shit. I hope the day comes where Justin says that shit.
Dude, I just thought, hey, the fucking movie's coming out. Let's fucking watch it. I didn't think it'd fucking turn into that. Holy
You
shit.
would have heard me cry because that shit was hard to watch, sir. That was fucking pulling at me. But Justin, I know this is like a random question, everything I do during the Flix'N'Chill, but like who would you choose to play Freddy Krueger if you had to?
I mean, I generally agree with Ruthless' statement on that, but if I had to pick somebody, Will Poulter? I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna look at Will Poulter and tell me why. But I feel like you're just saying that shit just to pick somebody.
I kind of am, but just saying, Will Poulter, he's got that, but if you see him in anything like Detroit and that stuff, he's just got that look, that menacing look. If you give him some makeup, he would be a pretty intimidating looking bad guy. So,
That motherfucker
hey,
got hit. Like, what's wrong with his head?
His eyebrows.
originally
They're
supposed
actually
to play,
living organisms.
He was originally supposed to play Pennywise, actually.
Yeah, apparently.
yeah, he was the first pick, and then he dropped out after Fukunaga.
Yeah, they couldn't get they couldn't get the makeup around his eyebrows. They kept destroying it.
No, Justin, he did drop out. He dropped out right on his fucking head, right there.
Dude,
God.
that guy. Dude, okay, have you ever seen him in the Maze Runner? His eyebrows are fucking weird, man. It's like a
Oh, yeah.
cartoon villain from
just
the
in the Maze
fucking
Runner?
old westerns.
He's
Yeah,
a Justin.
in every movie.
He's done.
Yeah,
That's the only
man.
one I remember from, honestly.
Yeah, just
Wasn't he in Detroit? Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
really?
Yeah, he was in Detroit. He was in The Revenant. He was in.
He was in
Maze
the
Runner.
All
Revenant?
right.
Yeah, he was in the Revenant. Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I guess hey, he'll have makeup on, so you can't see how fucked up his face is. But
Oh, we'll know.
Eddie, if you had to choose Eddie, who would you have play as Mr. Frederick Krueger III?
I guess the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy that says "Who?" He kind of looks a little intimidating.
Wait.
Wait.
What?
I wouldn't want to see
Jimon
him.
Hansu from Guardians. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
Zimon Ansu.
it looks like you could be scared.
He says one fucking line. It's the most memorable thing he's ever done.
Yeah,
Zimon
a double
Mansu?
Oscar-nominated actor. His best role is the one where he has 3 lines of dialogue in the whole film.
I wish I had a
He
spell
says
this
more than
fucking
just
thing.
who?
Yeah, he has 3 other words he says in the whole movie. So
Wait, is this? Hold on, is this the character right here you're talking about?
No. That's
No.
not.
No.
Here, I'll send a photo. Like he's in the movie for like literally 2 seconds.
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause-
there we go.
Yes,
That's
yes,
the best part in the trailers too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
Star
No.
Lord, man.
No, because that's the guy. Because that's the guy from Blood Diamond. He was.
Oh, was that the guy
Oh.
from Blood Diamond?
Yeah, that's the same.
Gladiator.
Gladiator. Yeah,
God.
there we go.
Oh, isn't he in 300? He's the guy who gets kicked off the thing.
No,
No,
that's somebody else.
that's
Because he's the
racist.
same guy. No, because right now, Sammy ain't seen shit talked about him too, because he was in Jason X as well. I didn't know that. But yeah.
Was he?
Yeah, he was. It was pretty cool.
Okay, I gotta look that up. Wow, I
But
didn't know.
I know he's not in fucking. I know he's not in
Who?
300. I've seen that movie fucking 10 times.
Yeah, no, because that guy is on a lot of stuff, like random stuff, and apparently this dude is too. I don't even know. I didn't watch Guardians of the Galaxy or not all of it.
He's
'cause
at
it
the
sucks.
start. He's literally like at the start of the movie. So.
Oh yeah, I do not remember that motherfucker at
Yeah.
all. But wait, I
There's a bunch of memes about him too.
like how Eddie said him.
It's
To play
so over
Freddy.
the top. It's like no, because what happens is like Star Lord goes, it's like I'm Star Lord. You know me, and he goes, who? Like it's so over the top. It's great.
Hey, you know what, man? With all the race and gender swapping characters, who says we can't have Black Freddy Krueger? Just saying.
Man, okay, I will
Well,
say.
The
yeah.
makeup, would you not?
People will
I
have,
don't
you
even
know,
know
I
it's-
come back to y'all mixing up Diamond Hansu and Peter Mensa. Like that's kind of hurts. Kind of hurts.
Well, no,
Hey,
I looked up. He's
hey,
not in Jason.
Oh no, I think that was me. Ruth is like, no, that was all me. Like,
Don't
I'm
say
sorry.
hey. That was not, I didn't say a word.
Yeah, no.
So I love Jaimon Hansu, so I know his movies that he's in. So
And me coming from a guy who's not into films as much as everybody else in this call, those motherfuckers don't do anything entertaining to me. Like, I'm sorry, but
Hey,
y'all
300
talking about a scene he's in a movie goes, who? And that's it.
It's just over the top. Like I find it funny because
I think he
it's
can
over,
look
how
scary.
over the top it is.
Like, that's the same thing with the Vin Diesel and the I am Groot thing. Like, I'm sorry, but if you guys really like a character who all he says is I am Groot, I need to challenge what you actually fucking enjoy in film. Because that's amazing to me that you would care about a character who has 3 fucking words that he says over and over again for 2 fucking hours. God.
It's not like he has a comedy routine where he's going on tour. He just shows up as he needs to. He acts like he's the main star of the movie, like he's narrating the start of Guardians of the Galaxy. I am Groot. I'm Groot. I'm Groot. Groot. I'm Groot. Groot. Like
Not that.
every now and then, it's him and it's the combination of him and Rocky, man. Rocket, Rocky.
It's not that different from Chewbacca.
dude, Rocky and Groot. I would watch that movie now. You got
Great, have an entire movie of no one understanding each other's dialogue.
I am
I'm Groot.
well, hey, to be fair, Sylvester Stallone is in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, so maybe the third one we'll get that movie. So
Yeah, he's in for like. Oh, he is in his. Holy shit, I forgot. He's in the movie. Man, fuck that second movie. Just as a random topic.
I agree.
No, Alan, and now I'm just trying to finish up the fucking.
Oh no, I already got the perfect choice. Jason Statham.
Oh my god, yes! Dude!
Welcome to
You
my
know, the kind
nightmare.
of, he always has the mug of. He always looks like he's about to get into a fight. So if you just have him as a janitor, because he doesn't look like he's too above his lifestyle. Like he looks like he could just be a janitor or working at a school or something. But he also kind of looks like he'll fight you at any given time. Like you walk that shit, what the fuck you want, mate? Boom, punch you in the face. So it's like you kind of have that situation of you don't know if he's ever a good guy or a bad guy. You also have him where he kind of can be bald at any time, so getting the makeup on him won't be a problem. And then like him with the claws, like and he can fight too. So some big guy wants to actually fight him, you can have Jason Statham as Freddy Krueger beat the shit out of him. So it's like you got a lot of things you can do.
Imagine a regal voice like his too, talking like, "Hey, I'm in your dreams, mate. Oh, I'm gonna fuck you up, mate. No, bitch."
No, Nick, but you think that we can understand him? That's the problem. Because the whole time
It's
it's just
Freddy
going.
Krueger. Who gives a shit if you can understand him?
Welcome to my world, bitch.
I'm not saying get Vin Diesel in the role. I'm saying Jason Statham. You can understand him talking.
No. Vin Diesel is like, but Jeff Chilios over here, fucking Mr. Jason Statham, this motherfucker is just like.
I cannot believe you remember Craig Tussle.
Chef Chilios? Yeah.
Man,
No,
fuck
I used
that.
to call him Jeff Cheerios. I thought his name was fucking Cheerios. I was like, what?
Cheerios.
Toasted
I
oats.
forgot you in that movie, man.
I'm part of a delicious breakfast.
Kid tested, motherfucking approved. Like,
And then what you have is you have Dwayne playing Jason, and then you have them Freddy versus Jason.
dude, I'm loving this shit. This is amazing. Oh, now here's a person. Now, Allie, do you even care? By the way, because I know you don't like your Freddy Krueger at all.
I think Jason Statham is a terrible idea. But
Thanks, Allie.
yo, he does not have the acting chops. Like, I don't know if he can do any other accent other than his Australian.
No,
But
he's British.
He's
British.
British.
No,
he's British, right? I'm sorry, it's like Cockney British. Okay, anyway, he sounds so I can't even understand what freaking accent he has.
No, that is a
That's
proper.
Australia.
That is very.
That is a
British.
London
I guess
accent.
that's
That's very London.
I don't
Yeah.
care. Anyway,
Damn it.
I don't have anyone that comes to mind, but like I'm convinced. I've always had this stigma that really there's no actor who can only play, like, no one actor can play a role. There's always someone out there, whether they're discovered or not, that could definitely pull off the same role. We just are like, we've just seen this person so much, and that we've, it's just been in our minds like so much that we just come to the conclusion, oh yeah, no one else can play them. But yeah, there always is someone that could play them, and someone that's probably out there that could play a character better than someone else, even if they've won an Oscar. Who knows? There's always someone out there. The world is a big place.
Yeah, like Jared Leto.
You're right.
I get what you're saying, but like, it's one thing to say that person's out there. It's another thing to say that the studio's going to find them, because James Bond can change, obviously. But if I ever get another Timothy Dalton, or Roger Moore, James Bond, I'm going to be fucking pissed.
Yeah, you're right. Just like no one can ever play the Joker again.
No, and I was about to say, I was actually going to do that for you, so Ruthless won't beat your ass. But...
No, he'll do that anyway. As soon as you bring that up, he'll just look at me.
No, because the thing
Hey,
is,
at least Anthony Ingruber in the new Telltale game is a pretty good Joker. So.
Oh no, that's boring. He is so fucking boring. I hate that.
Anyway,
Joker.
but even with that, it's like, again, when Jack Nicholson did his Joker, everyone's like, well, they're never gonna make another Joker. Heath Ledger did his Joker and did it
no one.
That's the important thing, is he didn't do Jack Nicholson's Joker. With him and Christopher Nolan created a new Joker. So you want a situation in which they do Freddy again. Like Ali has it perfectly correct. Don't try to do the Robert Englund Freddy. Do something different. Do something outside of the wheelhouse.
Again, they tried that.
Well, they tried it once though. They tried it once.
Tried it with,
Yeah, they did.
with
So
Jackie
then do
Haley.
it again.
And,
like what? Just because it doesn't work once means we can never try it again?
Well,
no,
the
I'm
one thing
saying
too,
like
well, the one thing
part
to
of
bring
the
up
problem
is
is finding somebody that can do it right, and you're expecting the studio to find that person when they're really about the cash grab. Like this is not an easy.
If they weren't about it, then
But
yeah, they
It's
could
not
find
even impossible.
someone.
Look at Mad Max.
Yeah, no, anything's possible, because I will tell you, when I saw this, because I didn't like the Joker anyways, and when people said, like, this pretty motherfucker right here is going to be the Joker, I was like, oh, great, I can't wait to not watch The Dark Knight.
The
It's
guy
gonna be
from
great.
Brokeback Mountain and 10 Things I Hate. The guy from Brokeback Mountain and 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah. So, for me, one thing that I think is going
And
to
A
happen...
Knight's Tale. Don't you discount A Knight's
Oh,
Tale.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that movie's great.
The Patriot, best movie ever, playing Mel Gibson's son. Come on.
Monsters
Yeah.
Ball.
Seriously?
Don't forget Monsters Ball.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Oh, I cannot believe he was the Joker.
It's
You
fucking
gotta give
awful.
people a chance.
Yeah, really. Like,
Yeah,
which
that's all I gotta say is like, don't if they have a great audition, and like the director sees something in them, then that should be enough. You shouldn't always base it off of like all of someone's previous work, because they might have not been able to have that opportunity before. There always has to be that one director that's like, you know what, I'm gonna give you a chance.
And the one
Just
person-
think about it. Like in Dunkirk with Harry Styles, who knew? He could honestly be the next Heath Ledger. But how do we know? People have a signal.
Wow.
See,
You
you
know
guys
what,
are
Allie?
laughing right now. I'm not saying it'll happen. But I'm
Harry
saying, like,
Styles is
that's
the
not-
Joker. I
You
wanna
know
see
what,
that.
Allie?
No,
You're
I'm not
right.
saying he's a Joker. I'm just saying Heath Ledger, like you didn't think he had it in him to do something of that, like that performance. But people don't give people a chance to even show that they have the capabilities because of already a stigma that's around them. So I'm just
I agree.
saying that you need to give people a chance.
Hey,
She's
I'll show
correct.
this right here really quick, too. Bill Skarsgård. Who knew he was going to be such a
Yeah,
good Pennywise?
man. Based on only Hemlock Grove, I didn't think he had it in him to do a really
You know what,
good
Allie, you're right.
Pennywise.
Jason Statham should get a chance to play Freddy.
You know what? Sure. Hey, if he has a great audition, sure. I honestly still don't believe he's capable of doing it.
Come on, man. Give him a chance.
But for me-
We're not making more expendable movies, man. He needs a
Hey,
job.
I could be wrong. People are wrong all the time. But yeah.
And for me, like, I will say, like, this person right over here, Kevin Bacon, is who I would pick. Man, I'm telling you, and they're trying to get him on this, but I don't know if you guys have seen Stir of Echoes. Anybody in here has seen Stir of Echoes?
Yeah.
No.
No, I mean I know Kevin Bacon's got a new TV show. He's doing Tremors TV show soon. So.
Oh, god damn it! Fuck!
Wait,
Wait,
they're
they're
doing
doing
a
that
TV show
again?
on that?
They're doing another Tremors season, TV series.
Yep, Kevin Bacon is reprising his character from the original movie to play a new Tremor show on Sci-Fi. So,
Oh,
there you
of
go.
course
that's
not,
so
but-
fucking awful. Why? Why? You
Don't worry.
doing
For season 1 will get low ratings. It'll get moved to the CW, and it'll be do great.
that? God damn. Yeah.
CW's the Tremors. I want to see that. That would be
So
amazing.
do I. Connected to the Arrowverse, be great.
Look at all these pretty people I want to get eaten by worms.
No, man, but like I said though, I just like what Ali said actually, just give people a chance, man. All right? Give Jared Leto a
Give
chance.
Jason Statham a chance.
Give Jason
Hey,
Statham a
yo.
chance.
Jared Leto actually is talented, though.
Okay, and here's another thing
sure.
too. let's not take away from the fact that was like directing and the way they wrote that character. Jared Leto might be a great Joker. Like I'm just saying.
Oh,
bad
100%.
direction, a bad, source material. It's not necessarily like we know he has it in him to do a great performance.
Yeah, I even liked him in Blade Runner. So yeah, I agree.
I
And I
still
loved
say
him
the
in the
same
Purple
thing, and,
Lamborghini video.
and I'm gonna get shot for this. I'm gonna say the same thing. I still think Jesse Eisenberg would be great as Lex Luthor. I know that he was terrible and like he wasn't the best in Batman v Superman, but I'll still say this. I think you can do a really good keep the character how he is and just make sure he's not like as bad as he was in the movie. But I still think you can make a good Lex Luthor with not having him be the fucking hitman that he was, hitman looking motherfucker that he was in the animated one.
Exactly. And like I said, people, just all you gotta do is give people a chance. Give us a chance to have you on the show next time because we are ending this shit off. I am sleepy. I'm going to bed. Actually, I'm probably not gonna go to bed. I'm gonna hang out with you guys in the after hours actually because we are gonna hang out. We got no viewing party thing ready or anything. We're just gonna come in. We'll have a rabbit ready. You get into the call. Go into the comment section and look for the rabbit link. You guys can click on that shit. We can hang out. We can have a good old time together and have a great old time and no fucking thing. Ellen, do you want to tell them rules that they might want to know before we get into the rabbit? I mean, I don't know if it really counts for this, but yeah.
No, generally not. Just don't act the fool. I don't know why we keep saying nudity in there. Don't fucking take your clothes off. That's gonna be weird for everyone involved. But just come in, have fun, and whatever ends up happening happens.
Whatever happens, happens. And yeah, we'll obviously be watching probably music videos and stupid shit like that. The whole fucking thing. You guys in the Google call, I'll be giving you guys a link too. Also look in the Double Toasted chat. And make sure to just leave some comments. Tell us if we suck or if we're great or whatever the fuck. That's it. Alan, on the count of 3. You son of a bitch, you. Joker's great. 1, 2, 3, attack. My shit ain't working.
Attack the chat.
Attack the chat.
Attack the chat.
We're not doing it yet. Now we are. Attack the chat. This fucking thing
Attack
sucks.
the
Great.
Attack the chat.
This shit never works. God damn it. I hate you, Alan.